The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
We're breaking down the film on Fernando Mendoza, Ty Simpson, and Dante Moore. One of these guys is probably going to be the next Jet quarterback. It's the Jake Asman Show. Joe Blewett joins us. Let's hit it and get it started.
Time to lose some games, bitches. You guys should be pros at this. They don't give out trophies for 4 or 5 wins.
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go. Here on a Tuesday. Smash the like button. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Reminder, if you missed the live YouTube show, it is a podcast in audio form on Apple or Spotify. Just search it out and you can subscribe there so you never miss a show and you could take us on the go. Let's say hello to a man who has a brand new computer. He's our film expert, part of the Jet X family. It's our guy, Joe Blewett. Joe, congrats on the new computer. The Asmaniacs bullied you into an expensive purchase. What's going on?
Yeah, no doubt. I was getting very depressed about some of the comments and stuff. But, no, I'm happy. New computer. I'm ready for the Isaiah Williams type redemption tour on this show with the film.
Oh, my goodness. We can only hope it's as good as Isaiah Williams. The one bright spot from this game this past Sunday, and the NFL officiating took away a touchdown from the man.
I don't know, man. We wanted competitive losses. This felt like just a competitive loss. It was absolutely perfect. Couldn't ask for a better game.
Man, before we get to the college film, which is why everyone who clicked on this video is here, real quick, your takeaway from the debacle Sunday, and then, of course, Steve Wilkes getting fired yesterday.
Yeah, we've been doing Wilkes film for 15 weeks or whatever it is at this point, so we kind of know my feelings on Wilk. He's abysmal. Doesn't have a ton of help with some of the talent, but I don't think they should be one of the. I don't care what the EPA is. It's a bottom 2 defense in the NFL, right? Like they could have hung 60 on us. The Bills could have hung 60 on us. Dolphins are up 21-0 before you could blink. Cowboys scored like 21 points in 3 minutes, whatever that was. Bills, it was horrific. Run game, pass game, it was all awful. So they needed to dump him. Now I'm a little bit worried that it happened before the Saints game, and you have like that new coach surge potentially. But we'll see. But it obviously needed to be done, and it felt like. Glenn started to distance himself, like, his defense and all of that stuff. So with that press conference, so had a feeling it was coming. Didn't necessarily expect it now, but it was a matter of when, not if. So needed to be done. Cook, not the best game in the world, but actually made some impressive throws for a UDFA. The picks obviously weren't ideal, and we can maybe recap those in a little bit. But for UDFA, I would say stock up, even though 3 picks is kind of ugly.
Hopefully he starts Sunday against the Saints, because with the Jets cutting Lazard today, that got a lot of attention. But they also waived Adrian Martinez, which means either Justin Fields or Tyrod Taylor. One of them is healthy if they're waiving a quarterback. So yeah. I just hope Cook starts. I think he earned another start. There's no point in going back to Fields. And Tyrod Taylor, we know what he is. You can now just say you want to give the young kid another opportunity. You don't need to go back to the veteran.
Yeah, I don't think there's a world where they go back to Fields. I think he's hurt for the rest of the season. That phantom injury that he may have gotten or may not have gotten. I think Tyrod's going to be the 2, and then you start Cook and you let him play. Like there's some plays obviously he's making that Tyrod wouldn't make in terms of the bad plays, but there's also some good plays in terms of like anticipation stuff and like ballsy throws that a Tyrod isn't making. So interesting to watch him, and really Tyrod's 36 going on 37, and Cook is a rookie, so why not evaluate him and see if he can be part of the quarterback room in 2026. I don't think he'll necessarily earn the backup spot with a rookie coming in, but could he be quarterback 3? So there's something to play for with Cook, and again, he hasn't been bad, especially considering the expectations for UDFA. So you definitely got to play him for the last 3, in my opinion.
There's something to play for during the show. We have a new set of raffle prizes. Congrats to our 3 winners from this morning's raffle during our show with Robbie Sabo. This week, we're giving away a Nick Mangold signed football. I'm rocking my Nick Mangold shirt right now. RIP to the great New York Jet, Nick Mangold. We have a signed ball by him. We have a signed football by each member of the New York Sack Exchange. And we have a signed Vinny Testaverde Jets jersey. Those are the top 3 prizes. Make sure you enter during this show and all our shows throughout the week. And end of the show today, we're doing a jersey giveaway. Joe Namath jersey, Joe Klecko, Curtis Martin, Wayne Corbett, Darrell Revis, the late great Nick Mangold, and of course, Keyshawn Johnson. Those are your choices. Make sure you enter the raffle, $5 super chat or higher to qualify, or gift a membership to your fellow Asmaniac. Joe, with that said, let's get to some college QB film. The Heisman Trophy winner is first up. Fernando Mendoza, the quarterback out of Indiana. And folks, get ready. Joe Blewett doesn't just have a new computer, but he's got a big-time clicker that is about to be exposed to all of you as we do a film review here on Mendoza, Ty Simpson, and then, of course, Dante Moore. So Mendoza's first up. Joe Blewett, we now all see your screen. Take it away.
Yeah, and by the way, the quality of this video is not the computer. This is just the film from Indiana. So don't start me like, oh my God. But yes, should be smooth, massive cursor. If you guys want it smaller, let me know. If you want it bigger, also let me know. But a solid size cursor here. I'm gonna run through like 7 or 8 plays of these guys each. So I'm gonna do it relatively quickly, just for time's sake, but also give you quite a bit of info about these guys in terms of some of these good plays and some of these bad plays. But
can you run the initial play first each time, just so we get a feel for it, and then break it down?
Yep. So, we'll play it first and kind of explain as it's going through. So, Yankee concept on the front side and gets to the backside post there with some really good anticipation. And hopefully this is not choppy.
Looks good.
But really, really good anticipation from Mendoza here, and we'll go over it. So you're gonna have the post here from the receiver to the bottom. He's gonna see the safety high, so he's gonna come off of that, and then you're gonna have the crosser coming from the slot to the top. So it's a Yankee concept. So he's gonna go 1 to 2. He's going to see receiver DB over the top, DB over the top. So he's going to get to the backside dig route. And what I love here is just the anticipation of Mendoza getting to the backside dig. So again, now comes off of, so you can see how quickly he moves through the reads as well. Drops back, reading the deep safety to the top or to the bottom of the screen right here. He then gets to the crosser. And when he gets to the crosser, he's seeing again another defender over the top. He then gets to the backside dig. So we're going 1 to 2 to 3 relatively quickly for Mendoza. And he decides to throw the ball about now with this defender in the window, but he knows he's kind of expanding to the flat right here. So the anticipation to hit this window is very, very good. And then also just the smoothness of getting 1 to 2 to 3 there, paired up with the anticipation and just reading of like leverages and understanding the coverage. So really good play from Mendoza getting to 1 to 2 to 3 with the anticipation there.
Love it. And I think a big thing we keep hearing about Mendoza is his accuracy and his feel for the position, his smarts. Is that evident as you're breaking these plays down? You see what those people have said about him?
Yeah, no doubt. And like the moxie, some of the toughness and stuff. And we're going to see a play coming up in like 3 or 4 plays where he takes a massive shot and then is still able to deliver the ball. You had that again, I believe in the first play of his last game. He took a big shot and continued to play well. So yeah, the anticipation, the reads, the accuracy, it's not always perfect, but it's an A. It's definitely an A in terms of that stuff. So all excellent stuff. And this is another one where we're going to be watching the slot receiver on the bottom right here, and I'll play it through first and then we'll talk about it a little bit. And it's not even overly complicated here. He's getting to his second read, but what I love is just the fact that he's willing to throw a ball into a spot and let the receiver attack it instead of having to see the receiver wide open like a la like a Justin Fields. And on this play, he actually reads the bottom first, the bottom receiver, DB over the top. He comes off of it, and then he gets to the curl from the slot receiver right here. And again, it's not like it's a slam dunk throw right here, right? Like when he decides to throw this, if he puts this potentially just right on the receiver, it could be a pick or even a deflection, but sees the DB kind of gaining some depth, expanding a little bit, knows there's an open window between these 2 linebackers, knows the receiver's eyes are back on him, and instead of putting the ball on him, he puts it inside, trusting that the receiver will work his way to the inside and catch that ball. So couldn't be a better ball there too. Like if you look at it, let's try to pause at the right time. Like in terms of fitting the ball in there, like just over that linebacker to the receiver, like perfect in terms of seeing a window. That's an NFL throw. That is a throw that neither Tyrod or Fields or really even Cook are making, but excellent in terms of like the anticipation of the window, the accuracy, and knowing where to lead him and where the open spots on the field were for Mendoza. So
love it. Keep it coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I said, I can't see you guys or anything like that. So if there are any questions or anything like that, just stop me and we'll go through it. But this is another one where like pre-snap, and this should be clearer now. Iowa State film, or the Iowa film, is a little bit more clear. But this one's a pre-snap read. So he peeks over a little bit before this, and even now you can see his head just peeked over a little bit towards this DB who's dropping down. And I believe it's either a Haas concept or a slot fade, but he's going to read the seam to the top right here from the slot. And what he does here is when he sees this DB creeping down, he shortens up his footwork a little bit so he could fire the ball in there. We can see that the footwork is a little bit quicker than it typically is with like a typical drop back. So he just shortchanges it just to fit the ball into the seam right there. And again, it's great pre-snap, and then they're like massive hit, but he's willing to step into hits to deliver a ball. So again, pre-snap, you can see him just peeking over at that DB. Again, shortens the footwork just a little bit. He's not taking full steps backwards. And then we have what looks like a cover three, like a fire zone 3 with 3 underneath and then 3 high. He drops down into like the hook to curl, the curl to flat. DB outside, DB inside. He knows he can fit this ball in there. Again, short changes it, knows the hit's coming, and again gets mollywopped, but is willing to step into it and deliver that ball to the seam. So again, really good pre to post snap, and then the toughness in the pocket there is obviously excellent from Mendoza.
He's got a better arm than they say, Mendoza, by the way.
Yeah, I think it's like plus average. I don't think it is to Moore's level or Simpson's level, but if you have good anticipation and good reads and all that stuff, it's not something that you need to have a strong arm, So you obviously prefer it, but still, I think it's good enough to get it done at the NFL level. I don't think it's great, but I don't think it's bad either. I think it's slightly plus average. I would say, just being realistic. So this one, I'll play it first. I believe he reads the bottom first in this one. I think he reads the bottom first. And this is another one where he gets to, his third or fourth read relatively quickly and hits the DB or hits the receiver for a touchdown here with perfect accuracy, just putting him, right on the receiver who kills the DB. But reading the slot fade, you can call it some people call it smash fade to the bottom, but reads the seam, DB over the top, right? So he's not gonna throw it there. He then gets to the crosser from the slot right here. And the crosser from the slot is working through traffic, and there's a DB over the top of it, right? That the middle of the field safety matches that, so he knows as long as he has an inside leverage post versus an outside leverage DB here, he's going to throw this ball. So quick processing of him to decide that. Again, puts it on the receiver, bang, touchdown. So it's just another one of the smoothness of his reads, and then the accuracy of hitting that ball deep. I will say, and we'll see some of it later on, he doesn't always lead his receivers very well deep. But overall, still a good play, again, specifically just getting through reads quickly. So last play of the good for Mendoza, and I think we have like 3 bad for him, but we'll look at this one again. 3x1 gun, and that's one of the things that I don't love is that he rarely, if ever, I don't remember one snap where he played under center. So that's one thing you're gonna have to work on with him, is playing under center a little bit. But we'll play it first, and then we'll get to the little bit of a breakdown of it. But again, this is one of him manipulating the pocket and being comfortable in the pocket. And this is one situation where I don't love Moore and I don't love Simpson. They tend to panic in situations like this where they're getting some pressure. This is the timing of it. They may roll out and bail out of the pocket instead of like stepping up and through the pocket and just being confident in it. So definitely love that trait from Mendoza over the other guys. But another situation where he's reading the bottom first, right? DB's on it, so he comes off of it, and then he's getting to the 2 digs to the top. Nothing's open there. Initially, the second dig from the outside comes open, but there's a defender in his face. Doesn't panic, pulls the ball down, keeps his eyes down the field, and then hits that backside dig. But again, just the comfort in the pocket here is very, very nice from him, because he could have hit that backside dig, but when you have a defender in your face, you obviously can't, right? So comfortability, the two hands on the ball, pulling it up, ripping it through, security, keeping the eyes down the field, delivering in a pressure situation from Mendoza. And then get to some of the bad from him here.
Hit the like button if you're tuning in. Joe Blewett is with us. We're breaking down the film on each of the top QBs. We're starting with the Heisman Trophy winner and the consensus favorite to go number 1 in the draft, Fernando Mendoza. All right, here we go. We did some good from Fernando. Here's some bad.
Yeah. And again, I think for the most part, like, he's very smart, good anticipation, accuracy, but it's all not spotless. Like, there are some plays where he could force the ball, or it's like a puzzling decision, or he can lock onto the first read at times in certain situations. And this is one. I believe he reads the top first, and then it's just going to go like 1 to 2 to 3 or 1 to 2. He may not even check the flat right here, but he decides to throw this crosser right here to number 3 with one in a really good like trail position spot and underneath of the route. So it's a ball that you don't need to throw, especially on second down. And in a Purdue game where I believe they're already up quite a bit at this moment in the game. But this is a ball where he forces it. So top to potentially drag to then the crosser. Again, it could be the 2, it could be the 3. I'd have to check his eyes really quickly. But again, drops back, reads those 2 crossers, and then he tries to force that ball in there, and a ball that, NFL, or if they just don't, if he doesn't drop the ball, it should be a pick collision level too, but a bad force from him there, right? Like we could definitely say that in terms of forcing this ball, not good. Clean pocket. The backside dig gets wide open versus the DB who falls down. So if he were just to not force that ball, pull it down, get to his next read, this would be his next read. This is wide open across the middle of the field, and he forces a ball with a relatively clean pocket. I know there's pressure that gets there eventually, but he has enough time at this point. Hey, come off of this. It's not open. Get to the backside. Live the fight another down potentially. We can't force the ball for what should be an interception in this Purdue game. And this is one that I talked to you about when I watched the Purdue game. Like, this is definitely probably one of his worst games, and that's obviously a pretty awful play from Mendoza. So this is another one from the Purdue game where I talk about like some of the deep accuracy and stuff, and sometimes it is lacking. And we could see this one that he underthrows this ball by probably 10 to 15 yards. The receiver makes a ridiculous yak after it. So credit to the receiver, but in terms of that ball, it is underthrown by a lot, and we'll look at it again from the high angle. But these are situations where I think, like, again, a lot of people are results versus process. So the stat will say, a 43-yard touchdown on a deep ball by Mendoza. So it looks good, results based, but process based. And this is another, and obviously, Indiana runs this quite a bit, like Haas concepts and slot fades. But he's going to read the seam here, reads the safety sitting to the in the middle of the field. So as long as he wins vertically, he's going to throw this ball. And I get it's a slot fade. So typically you do want it to be back shoulder, but when he's beating the DB this badly, you just got to lead him to the outside right here. And we're going to see how much this receiver slows up for this ball. It's obviously just watch the receiver. It's quite a bit here that he has to slow up and make what is a contested catch and potentially even an interception in the NFL. If it's underthrown that much, breaks, I don't know what, 3 tackles there to run in for a touchdown. So one area of Mendoza's game that I do not love is the consistency with like leading guys deep accuracy. It's not bad, but it's definitely not good, I would say. So another bad one there. And then last one, and then we'll get into some other quarterbacks here. Let's get to play 38. We got not step into the throw. And this is not a good decision in general from him, and I'll play it through first, but you could also see some of like the lack of being able to deliver balls when he's off platform. I think his arm strength and his accuracy takes a pretty large hit when he's off platform. But we'll watch it where he forces a ball to the crosser right here to the bottom. So like a deeper mesh, and he again throws a ball that's I believe it's a pick 6 here versus Oregon. So obviously not an ideal one. Again, play action. He's reading the crossers. Typically it's high to low there, and then needs to put more in that ball, right? If you're gonna throw this ball, which you probably shouldn't anyway, it has to be much more to the outside and leading the receiver. It can't be floated up and inside, because the DB's not the best position, but he's in a good enough position to undercut an underthrown ball. He does that for a pick 6, and again, it's a situation where he's just not the best off platform, where the accuracy definitely takes a hit, which all quarterbacks do, but more so for Mendoza than I would say guys like Simpson and Moore. So there's your abbreviated Mendoza breakdown of 5 good and 3 bad.
By the way, that that pick six, he immediately responded and ended up leading a game-winning drive on the road against Oregon. So one of the things I like about Mendoza, even the interception he threw against Ohio State in the Big Ten championship game, when he has had a moment where it's a bad play, he never lets it affect him. Where we've seen Czech quarterbacks, they make that first mistake and that's it. They're in their head and forget it.
Yeah, no doubt. And that's part of it too, right? Like every play is not going to be perfect. And how do you answer? Clearly he answers back after throws like that, or even in like key situations like Penn State game, not a great game. But when it mattered, he made plenty of good throws in that last drive. So that's part of it as well, where I think he has like a stronger mental capacity for that type of stuff over a guy like Simpson, where Simpson kind of gets a little bit flustered and it can snowball. He's younger, not as much starts. So that makes sense. But that's a great point by you that he bounced back from that. Cause that's huge. Like you're not going to, be 25 for 25 and 30 touchdowns and no picks. Like he's going to have some bad plays, but how do you bounce back? So that's an excellent point.
That matters to me a lot with any of these guys because like they're going to make mistakes. New York is going to eat them alive. The media is going to be on their ass. We know how difficult it is to play in the city. I need someone who can handle that. I don't know, very early in the process, but I think Mendoza's intangibles, the personality, I think it plays in New York. I think it will help him. Whereas like a guy like Zach Wilson, it broke him because he couldn't handle it. And I need someone who can handle it. I think he can, at least initially.
Yeah, I know there's been some like discourse about like, oh, is he weird or whatever, and whatever else it is. Realistically, and I think we said this last week, if he's good, players will love him. If he sucks, players will hate him. Who cares about his personality, really? Unless he's like super fragile, or you have to worry about him being, again, say what you want about Shedeur. I don't love the personality of Shedeur and how immature he is at times, or even like was that Paiva or whatever his name?
Diego Pavia would be a nightmare.
Pavia. Like that just seems like an absolute problem with him. He just seems like the prototypical like Guido from New Jersey. And then you add him to the Guidos in New Jersey and how bad he can. I do not want that situation with him. He just seems like he's all about himself. So but at the end of the day, if they win, who cares about their personality? But I do think he has like the bounce back ability, which I do love. So
I think that's well said. All right, comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. Quick super chat from Mace B, and then we're going to get to the film on Ty Simpson, followed by Dante Moore. Make sure you guys enter our raffle today. We're going to give away a Jets jersey. You pick the legendary Jet. You want a jersey. And Mace B says, Tua sucks. McDaniels is good and held back by Tua being awful. Predict the Dolphins' future. Both gone next season or one stays. Finn's not a threat next season. Right. I think they're maybe both back given how well they have played after the abysmal start. Maybe they get rid of the coach. The quarterback's going to be there because of his contract, or if they cut him, I mean, they're talking about like a dead cap hit of like $100 million. I think Tua's on their team next year. Maybe they actually add a legit veteran that could start. I mean, McDaniel said today, by the way, that he's open to a QB change, which means Zach Wilson could start a game for the Dolphins this week after last night's debacle. So I'm not sure. I think the future of their head coach there is still very much up in the air.
Yeah. Then they bounced back well, right? Like they were supposed to be one of the worst teams in the NFL, and they fired the GM, and they've been competing and winning some of these games. So we'll see what happens. Again, I'm not privy to the Tua contract and all of that stuff. I would like them to continue to roll forward with him because I don't think he's the best quarterback. But yeah, we'll see. And if not, then maybe McDaniels is a future Jets OC, because his run game is ridiculous. Like how good he is at coordinating a run game. It is absurd. Some of the wrinkles he throws in. I don't think he has any connections to Glenn or anything like that. I don't think that would happen. But whatever's to make the Dolphins fail, I want, because I hate, and I know a lot of Jets fans like our age specifically hate the Pats more than the Dolphins, but I'm one who hates the Dolphins more than the Pats, just because of how the fans, they haven't won a playoff game in 25 years, and they speak like they've won 3 Super Bowls in the last decade. That's how confident they are. So I do not like Dolphins fans at all. Like realistically, with Pats fans, Jets fans start talking shit when we get like a 2 or 3 game winning streak. If we won 6 Super Bowls within like 2 decades, we would talk so much garbage that I more understand Patriots fans doing it. Dolphins fans, I think they're in their own universe.
Yeah, I hate the Miami Dolphin fans because they won nothing, but they act like they won a lot, like the Patriot fan has, or even the Bills winning the division the last 5 years and having success, right? Like the Miami Dolphins have not won a playoff game since Bill Clinton was in office. That's how long it has been. So yes, the Jets have the longest playoff drought in professional sports. It's embarrassing. It's more embarrassing, I believe, to not have won a playoff game since Bill Clinton was the president of the United States. Enough said.
Yeah, again, and they speak like they're God's gifts to the earth. So Dolphins fans are easily my number one. Going to games with them too. I think they're the most cocky fans out there for absolutely no reason. So Dolphins are my number one. So whatever's going to make them successful, holding on to Tua, not holding on to Tua, getting rid of McDaniels, not. I'm rooting for their downfall.
100%, ladies and gentlemen. Our next quarterback to review on film is Ty Simpson, the quarterback of the Alabama Crimson Tide. And Joe, I'm curious your thoughts on him, because felt like for a while it was him and Mendoza as the top guys in the draft class. And then the last month, we keep hearing how Simpson has not played well. Alabama certainly struggled. They got beat up real good in the SEC championship game against Georgia. So here we go, the Ty Simpson film review from Joe Blewett.
Yeah, I do think Simpson gets a little bit unfairly criticized. I do think it's a little bit results-based versus the process again. And I'm going to show you exactly why on this play where this should be a touchdown. The receiver stops running his route, so it's not, and it would have been a dot. There's also a play in this game. Actually, there's two other plays in this game. There's one on third down where he gets pressured, throws up a fade ball to the receiver, hits him in the hands, he drops it. There's another one deep out to a receiver versus pressure. He hits him, he drops it. So I do think that Mendoza has more help from his, or actually not think, he definitely has a lot more help from his running game. And I think his receivers make more plays for him than Ty Simpson's do. And I think people just think of like Alabama as the old Alabama and, oh my God, everybody's amazing. And some of the receivers are good, but it's not like the Nick Saban type Alabama teams where, you know, any quarterback can kind of do it. So I do think he gets a little bit unfairly criticized, especially recently. Now it's not been great, but if this game, I think he had, you know, he was like 22 for 32 or 19 for 32, one touchdown, one pick. But if you add these two this touchdown, the other one I spoke about, you're talking about 3 touchdowns, one pick, another 50, 60 yards. And people are talking differently about it. But because it's results-based, not process, people, oh my God, he sucked. But realistically, yeah, a few bad plays, 3, 4, 5, 6 bad plays. And we'll show another one of them. But you got to take in the situations too. And we'll see exactly why here, where again, if this touchdown is made, are we talking about him differently in this game? So I'll play it first. I'll play it first to the top. They just like, they run like a smoke here. Fake that and then see if it's going to open the vertical route behind it. He then gets to the bottom where you have a Mills concept, which is going to be like a dig and then a post behind it. And we'll watch it first and we'll talk a little bit about it. And I'll tell you kind of who to focus on here. But it's actually a very good throw from Simpson, and the ball hits the receiver's hand. But, and I'll show you in the other view, the receiver slows down for whatever reason, so then it puts it out of reach and like, oh, it's a bad accuracy play. So again, I'll go through a little bit slower now. So he reads the top, right? You have the DB over the top, right? They don't fall for the screen here. He then gets to the bottom where you have the dig. The dig is covered up. And what he's really going to read here is this safety going to drive down on it? Safety drives down on it. Post versus outside leverage. You're going to try to hit that every day. But what I want you to watch here very specifically, don't watch Simpson, watch this receiver and watch how he gears down. And I'll play it a few times, but he undoubtedly slows down from 100% running to maybe 60, 70. And that puts him out of his position. You can see him slow down there, right, Jake? Yeah. It's slight, but you can see it. No doubt he slows down there. He's not running full speed. And it's a situation where Simpson just threw a dot, but the receiver slowed down. So then it's going to be they play, people on Twitter or whatever. It's like, oh, inaccurate ball, put it out of reach for the receiver. But if the receiver kept running full speed, you're talking about and again, it's a little bit grainy like there when I'm kind of doing it frame by frame, but you're talking about the ball is there. You're talking about a dot. Like that is a really, really nice throw to the receiver. Is he blamed for the receiver slowing down there? Again, like watch the receiver's full route and you can see how he slows down. Fast, slow. And then tries to speed up again for the ball. Why is he not running through the route? I don't understand. So a play where, again, add 30 yards of completion and touchdown to his tally against Georgia. And then again, consider the other 2 plays I talked about. So how bad was that game really? Again, not great. And we'll talk about some of the other plays, but you have to take into consideration plays like that and what he's working with.
Your thoughts on how Simpson would handle playing in the Northeast as a guy that is obviously playing at Alabama?
Yeah. It's hard to I think that's what the interviews are for. And that's obviously something we're not privy to. We don't get to interview these guys. I do think he's a little in terms of the games, a little bit more fragile than a Mendoza. That comes with starts, and I think he's definitely a guy who has to sit. I do think realistically, whether it be Moore, Simpson, or Mendoza, anybody's going to struggle if the team starts to struggle and they struggle. If they're successful, they'll ride the waves. So it's kind of hard to tell without really knowing these guys like Zach Wilson. How could we ever know that? Now there could be some indicators indicators. Hey, BYU, COVID year, no fans, all that stuff, a little bit sketchy. But it's really impossible to know unless you kind of interview these guys. Now, the one thing I am concerned about in terms of like him just handling the NFL is the size and the lack thereof it. Is he going to be able to handle all the hits in the NFL? So we'll see about that. But overall, in terms of like the mindset, it's hard to know, right? Like Mendoza seems like a guy who could be great with it because of his personality, or he could be also like super, super hard on himself because of how laser focused he is on football. So it's honestly hard to know.
Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line again. We only have one raffle ticket right now from Maceby. If you want a chance to win a Jets Legends jersey at the end of the show, we're breaking down some Ty Simpson film. Joe Blewett, next play for us, sir.
Yeah, this is some of the playmaking ability of a guy like Ty Simpson. So I believe this is just it's a mesh sit rail concept. We're gonna have a rail route or a wheel from the running back right here. He's gonna read that first, and he's gonna get to the mesh, and then there's a sit route behind the mesh. I don't know why that's popping up. I don't know if you could see that, but okay. Nonetheless, I'll play it first. Dude, Windows versus Mac, there's so many more like error messages and like antivirus stuff that pops up with Windows, but nonetheless, we'll play it first. Again, he's going to read the rail, DB over the top, right? I'm not going to throw that. He gets the mesh. We'll look at that in a second, but just focus on the playmaking ability here. Third down, gets the mesh, nothing open there, sit. There's already pressure from the D line, and then is able to find the receiver right there. So rail, nope. Guy over the top, comes off of it very quickly. Like the processing there, nice and quick. Gets to the mesh. Could deliver the ball here if you really, really needed to one of these guys potentially, but they're short of the sticks. Doesn't want that either. Knows he needs to make a play here. There's some pressure in his face. So then he's going to roll out of the pocket, and then he holds onto the ball, and I'll get here. Gets out of the pocket and keeps his eyes down the field. And this isn't choppy. This is just me going frame by frame, but keeps the eyes down the field. And at the end of the day, like, hey, got to make a play. It's third down. Sees this receiver, tight end, whatever he is, uncovering, and is able to deliver the ball with the guy in pursuit on him on third down. Like this is something you're not going to get from a Mendoza in terms of he can throw on the run, again, off platform and stuff. He's not always the best, but the speed there and just the athleticism is something that Mendoza does not possess. So it's a trait that you like for Simpson over a Mendoza, just like the pure playmaking ability. And it's not something you're going to see in the NFL all the time, but you might see it 3 to 5 times a game, sometimes depending on such game.
Ty Simpson, baby. Now, the lack of starts for Ty is going to be a huge topic if he declares, because he's a one-year starter, and we know the history of one-year starters in the NFL is not great. So I'd prefer for him to certainly sit. But what are your thoughts when you watch him compared to someone like Mendoza, who has 15 plus, 20 plus more starts than Ty's going to end up having?
Yeah, you definitely like the starts. There's not a good track record of quarterbacks with like 10, 11, 12 starts who make it in the NFL. And it's a reason he really, really, really needs to sit for at least half the season. I would be okay with him sitting the entire season. I just want a quarterback, whether it's 2026, 2027. I want the guy. So sitting him, I think, is the best operation. And like you said with Mendoza, like he's a guy who can bounce back where Simpson doesn't as much. And I think it's because of the lack of the starts, the lack of experience. But it's not a thing where I watch him. I'm like, oh, the anticipation is there, the smoothness isn't there, the tight window throws aren't there. That's some stuff you see with guys who don't have starts. He has that already. So I'm not watching like, oh, he's just a playmaker. He's just making plays off script. He doesn't process. He doesn't get to read smoothly. Like that exists too. So it's not something where I'm just like reaching for playmaker stuff, because you see some of the good processing as well. And we saw that on that first play of his good. And we're going to see it on this one too, where he reads it well and fires this ball in for a post for a touchdown. So don't love the lack of starts, though, right? Lack of starts, size. Don't love the fact that he's not always comfy in the pocket with some pressure. I want him to step up into the pocket instead of escaping it at times. But again, there's a reason he's lower floor, but he's a higher ceiling than a guy like Mendoza because of the arm strength, because of the athleticism he has, the ability to throw off platform, etc. And you can see that's a laser right there. So they're going to run double post with a wheel behind it. So he's going to read the inside post first to the backside post, then to the wheel. And when he's reading this, right, the post to the inside, you have the safety over the top, and you have 15 starting to match it, right? So then with his safety sitting to the inside, he gets to the matchup to the top, sees the safety sitting inside, but sees the relationship of, okay, he's over the top but very far outside. he can whip this ball into there. Now he can't put it too high. He can't put too much air under it because this DB can potentially get there, or the safety can drive on it. So he has to put heat on this ball, and he does exactly that. Fires the ball in there, and the DB isn't able to close ground, and neither is the safety. So good processing, only getting to his second read, but it's the confidence there, getting to the back of his drop, one hitch, getting to the second read in the post, and again, just knowing that he's to fire that ball in there. Great accuracy, and obviously great arm strength too. His arm strength is, I wouldn't say it's elite, but it's definitely upper tier arm strength. So
that's a bullet. That's
it's a bullet,
rip.
dude. Yeah, he rips balls in there. Like that is, he has the strongest arm in the class out of these guys, in my opinion. I think Moore has the most consistent deep ball accuracy out of these guys. He struggles more short to intermediate, kind of like a guy like Brady Cook. He has a good arm, but I would say Simpson's is near elite in terms of the zip and the accuracy he can put on some of these balls. Now, it's not always consistent, specifically like when he gets pressured at times or he starts to snowball with some bad plays. But when he is on. Like he could absolutely rip balls into some windows. So love to see it.
Love it. And again, he was having an awesome year, and then the last couple of weeks, like all the Ty Simpson detractors were out in a fury, and a lot of people saying he should go back to school. I think the problem with that is he is probably, I know they have like a 5-star behind him where they paid a lot in NIL. So they might have to play him. So if Simpson wanted to stay in school, he might have to transfer. So people just think he's an older prospect anyway. He'll probably just come out, and with Mensa already going back to school, Seller is going back to school, like maybe in a different year, Simpson is not a lock to go in round one. I almost think this year, because of the demand for the position, he would go in round one. Yeah,
it's a thing where, again, I think I'm a big process guy, like legitimately, Jake, and I forget even the score of the Georgia game. But if I added 3 completions onto his stat line, 2 touchdowns and 80 more yards, is the narrative different in that game? Like legitimately, it is. But people aren't going to take into his consideration, like, hey, yeah, bad game, but his receiver stopped running a post that was a dot for a touchdown, So he's definitely trended downwards. But I think him going from a number 1, number 2, number 3 pick to maybe second round, I think it's being a bit dramatic when you actually watch the film of what he's doing. Again, go and watch Mendoza versus Purdue. Go watch the first 2 games of the season and tell me how impressed you are. Like, guys have bad games sometimes. It happens. He's obviously playing harder competition than Indiana. Throughout the season, obviously Indiana with the bowl games and playoffs now are going to be playing harder teams, and they played really well against, Oklahoma. But he's had bad stretches too. It's just, the prisoner of the moment stuff and lack of context, I think, hurts Simpson a lot, to be just completely transparent. So, are you here? Yeah, you're sharing. Okay, you're sharing it. So this is the last good, and we go to 4 bad from him. This is just an absolute dot from him. He's just some of the accuracy sometimes he has is ridiculous. So this one he's going to read high to intermediate to short here. It's a variation of a sail concept. So when he's reading this, okay, you got vertical. You have the safety coming over the top, so he doesn't think he could fit that ball in there, right? Because you have a trail DB, so he has to float the ball over his head, but you can't do that with the safety there. So he comes off, he comes off because of that, and then he gets to the second read, and what he sees here is, and he doesn't want to necessarily float this ball either because you have a DB here, so it's a little bit dangerous. But what he has is a receiver with leverage over the top of this DB, and the location of this ball is just ridiculous. And we'll see it from the other angle. I'm not sure if you guys can see it when I was playing it the first time, but again, reading the safety, reading deep, going to the intermediate read on that corner route, and the location here is just, let's see if I can get like a freeze frame on it, like just past the outstretched arms. Could it be in a better spot? I don't think so. So the ability to throw on the move there, a little bit off platform. Let's see if it okay, there you go. Yeah, throwing a little bit off. I don't know if he sets his feet here. Let me see if he sets his feet. Okay, no, so he's not off platform. He just shuffles a little bit, but an absolute dot from Simpson on that sail concept to the corner.
Boom. Let it rip, Ty. Now the bad. We did the good, now the bad.
Yeah. And there's some, just like we saw with that crosser from Mendoza in the game, Simpson's not, he's a player who could do that type of stuff as well. This one, play action, most likely going to read the number 1 right there to the 2. And this is a ball that is, it's awful. You just can't make a decision, just like the Mendoza play, right? Like there's no excuse for throwing this ball, a play that he cannot make, especially when you're talking about, I believe this is like the first this is maybe the first or second drive of the game. So it's early on. It's first down. You're not
They
down.
won this game too, by the way.
They did win this game. He had an excellent game minus a play or two. So the first time he played Georgia, he's actually very good minus this play and maybe one or two more. But early in the game, 1st and 10, you undoubtedly cannot do this. Just live the fight another down. Again, if you had connection with your receiver, this is Rodgers and Devontae, you could put this ball like very, very far back shoulder and hope that your receiver makes a play. If not, it's an incompletion. But he puts the ball way too far to the outside right there. I get excuse for that one.
Unreal.
So this is, let me see, a take sack. I'm not sure. Hold on. That's my fault. Not the right one. I'm like, I'm not sure I actually meant to do that one. This one's where there's some times where like the processing is great. And there's some times where he can hold on to the ball for a tick too long. So he reads the safeties here and to the bottom here is what I call a hawk concept. So you have vertical to the out. You can check the vertical versus certain coverages or just read it straight up. But more times than not, you're going to hit this out route. And it's a good idea to hit this out here. Let me play it first. I don't know I know people like to typically see it played first, but it's a ball that's it's too far inside and it's a tick late. So he has some pressure in his face, right? Too far inside, any better. So again, reads the vertical, right? DB over the top, not going to hit the vertical. That's pretty simple. Also DB over the top here. So then he gets to the out route, out breaking route, inside leverage. That's a ball you throw all day, So he's going to hit the out route. The thing here is I want to see better anticipation from him. So if he gets to the bottom of his drop, and he takes the extra hitch. So I want to see hitch, throw here. He takes the extra hitch. And because he takes the extra hitch, the DN gets in his face where really the ball should be released now with the receiver getting into his break. Again, holds on to it for an extra, half a second. That allows the defensive end or D tackle, whatever exactly it is, to get into his face, which makes him adjust his arm angle, and he's not able to fully step into the throw here. And that's maybe why it's inside, because he has to adjust the arm angle and make it a little bit higher. And then the left half of the body dips down. So make a little bit of hesitation there from Simpson. I don't know why. He typically doesn't, but there are instances where there are a little bit too inconsistent at times with it. But you want to see better anticipation from him there and get rid of the ball with better timing.
Ty Simpson has some flaws, folks, as does all these prospects. So keep that in mind. Joe's showing you the good and the bad, the pros and the cons, because that's what every NFL team is going to be doing too, especially the Jets, who have to decide are any of these guys worth potentially giving up additional draft capital to land one of them.
Yeah, no doubt. And this is one where this is some of the good of Simpson and the bad. This play is actually good, but I don't necessarily love the process here. So he actually, and there's nothing by this. This is a curl from the bottom, and the DB's playing over the top. He could definitely zip this ball in there. And there are times where he skips the first receiver open, and it's one of my biggest problems with him. Size, lack of starts, uneasiness in the pocket, I would say, and skipping receivers who are open bothers me with him, probably primarily. But play action reads the bottom, a situation where he should hit this curl, just take the easy yards, first and 10, hit this for an easy 7 yards, potentially for some yak. But he's a playmaker. He wants to go for some more. You have the verticals here. He's gonna get to the backside, read the seam to the outside vertical. He sees the DB matching the seam route, so he fits the ball in behind him to the vertical. So overall, again, I'll say some incompletions are good plays and completions are bad plays because it's about the process of how he gets there. And I don't love the process of skipping the receiver who's open initially on this one. Again, play action reads it, doesn't hit it. My problem here is, if you watch the DB's angle to the bottom left here, he doesn't take the best angle. If this is an NFL DB, not if he's trash, it is what it is. But if he's a good DB in the NFL, you see the angle's bad there, how he kind of flattens it out and then gets vertical. If he tracks that ball better, you're talking about maybe a interception, if not probably a contested catch or a pass deflection. So it's a play that ends up good, and you like some of the aggressiveness of Ty Simpson, but a situation where you have a DB to the bottom, in like a shuffle technique with his hips open, there's no way he's gonna be able to drive down on this, especially with Ty Simpson's arm strength. Just take it. So result good, process not so great, DB bad angle to it, probably should have been contested, if not like a PD or a pick there. So good result, bad process for Simpson on that one.
Yep, that's a good breakdown there. What I love about your breakdowns, Joe, is again, you're all about the process. You go beyond the box score and even the good plays, and you go, what actually happened here? So I think we all appreciate that.
Yeah, no, thanks. And so this is the last one of Simpson. We'll get into, I think I have like 4 good of Moore and 3 bad of Moore. This is one where like, I like the idea here of Simpson. He just takes that extra hitch again. This is an NFL type throw if he hits this, no doubt. But I'll play it first. So he reads the bottom first, where you have like the I don't know if it, let me see if it's a divider or okay. So you have a scissors concept to the bottom. So typically you're gonna read out or in to out here. DB high, DB outside. And he processes it really quickly, where he's looking towards the bottom, and you can see how quickly he comes off of it. Like, it's not so clear now, but he knows the routes, right? Like, he comes off now, so he knows, hey, safety high, cloud corner. He's gaining depth, so he's not going to be able to throw the corner out here either. And then quickly, he may read this as well. That's covered up. So then he gets to the backside dig. So I like the processing. The processing is very quickly initially, and then he hesitates because the window there, it's there, but it's an NFL type window, no doubt. It's just he hesitates. So we'll see it from the other angle. So again, read the bottom of the screen or to the left side here, comes off of it, and then what he sees here when he gets to the middle is linebacker who's working to the inside. He trusts the receiver to get to the inside of the linebacker, but hesitates, and he takes an extra hitch. So let's watch the hitch. So you see, like, he takes his hand off the ball there and goes to throw it, or he goes right there to throw it, but hesitates, takes the extra second, and then throws it. That allows this DB to get there. But the idea here is good. Just throw the ball before taking that extra hitch, because that would be a ridiculous throw, right? Like, if he hit that. So the idea is good. It's just the hesitation there against specifically a team like Georgia is going to lose you that rep. If you're playing like, whatever scrub team, that probably works. But because he's playing Georgia, it doesn't work. And in the NFL, it may not work because of it, unless you're playing the Jets linebackers. But the idea of it's great. It's just the ball has to be out now and not take the extra hitch. So he takes that extra hitch, hesitates, allows 4 to get on that route, and then it's a pick. But like, overall, not great, but almost there. So like, I can't kill him for it. But it is, it is what it is.
Ty Simpson, folks. There you go. A little breakdown on him. We're going to do more of these as we get closer. And I think what's cool too about the college football playoff, for those who don't have a dog in the fight, all these quarterbacks are in the playoff. Mendoza with Indiana, Simpson with Bama, and Simpson's actually the first game Friday night against Oklahoma. So we'll see Alabama's QB against a good Oklahoma defense. John Mateer, by the way, maybe could be a day 2, day 3 option. He's the Oklahoma quarterback in that one. And then the other team that's playing in the playoff is Dante Moore in Oregon. So all 3 of these guys that we're reviewing today, they're in the college football playoff, and those are big games. So a chance to evaluate them in a pressure spot, like we got a chance to with Mendoza against Ohio State a few weeks ago. Yeah,
and that's something like we're at the end of the season. If we want to do breakdowns of these guys after those games, as long as I can fit it in there, like we could watch each one of these games individually, like we did unsuccessfully with Mendoza last week, but it seems to be working fine this week. I haven't seen the chat, but it looks like it's working on my end. So yeah, we can evaluate those guys, and it seems like I may have to. I know the USC quarterback Maeva, whatever his name is, just went back, and it seems like the Duke quarterback, is it Mensah, who's going to be like he seems like kind of the consensus number 4 right now, who may work into like a second round pick or maybe even first. We don't know. So that's the guy we might have to do an eval on upcoming as well. So yeah, plenty more to evaluate.
100%. Comments, questions, super chats. Big fellow with a comment here. He goes, Simpson threw 2 picks against the powerhouse Eastern Illinois. That's disqualifying for me.
Yeah, again, if you're gonna disqualify him because of that, I urge you. And I don't know if it was like all like, I know how like Ryan from Jets Talk, you see like all the passing plays of Rodgers, whatever it was. I don't know if there was cuts like that on YouTube, but I'll do it on my channel, obviously, big fella. But again, go if that's a bit disqualifier, go and watch Mendoza versus Purdue, Kennesaw State, and I think Old Dominion was the first game, and tell me how impressed you are. Like, one game cannot be a disqualifier, because then you disqualify every quarterback, because every quarterback has a bad game, regardless of good competition, bad competition. Mendoza's had bad games versus bad teams.
Eli says, Joe, do you think any of these QBs are worth trading 2 firsts for?
Like, there's so many variables to this. We talk about this all the time. Like, who's coming out? Where do they pick? Like, I don't know. Is it the Jets first plus 2 firsts, or does he mean the Jets first? Because I kind of consider like 1 extra first to get up.
Yeah, I'm going to operate under it's 1 extra first, because obviously it's technically 2 if you're swapping your own first, which it would need to be in the deal, plus either the Colts pick this year or one of the 3 they have in round 1 and 27.
Okay, yeah. So let's like take it from two different angles. If in some world Moore and Simpson don't come out and you're pick 4 and they want to first take up to 1, yeah, because I think they need to get a quarterback. This situation where they're pick 4, Simpson and Moore come out, no, because I think the gap is smaller than some people. I think people have like Mendoza here and then Ty Simpson and Mendoza here and then Moore and Simpson all the way down here. I think the gap is minimal at this point between these guys. I get any order of 1, 2, and 3 with these guys. So with Simpson and Moore most likely coming out, I'm not trading a first round pick to secure Simpson. I'll just take Moore or Simpson at that point.
Tank for Ty Simpson, best QB in the draft. Gee, there's no bias in that one. Let's see. There was
fair to him. I think he's on my chat too. I think he actually changed his name, so he's not initially Tank from Ty. So like he didn't originate as a Tank from Ty guy. His name was something else before that. I just forget what it was.
Adam says Mendoza fourth quarter stats. Google it. He's been great in clutch time. That matters to me. 100%.
Yeah, that's a trait. It's in his strengths and weaknesses for me. Is the clutch factor to him. There's no doubt about it.
Adam also wants to know, last one here before we get to some film on Dante Moore. What intangibles would you say Ty Simpson has?
Intangibles, and are you talking about like mental are you talking about like traits or like processing stuff? I think there's a lot there in terms of like the upside. Again, he gets through his reads pretty smoothly. He's struggled with accuracy more recently, but the accuracy is there. The tight window throws are there. Anticipation throws are there. Off platform throws are there. You saw the zip on those balls that he had on that double post. He hit the backside post really, really well. So you have arm strength, you have general accuracy for the most part, sometimes pinpoint, anticipation, smoothness through reads. There's a lot. Like it's not, he's not just like a playmaker at times. Like he processes really, really, really well and really fast at times. He's just more of a risk taker at times, which can hurt him. And again, some of the uneasiness in the pocket.
Comments, questions, super chats, keep them coming, people. We'll get to more of your questions for Joe in just a bit. But now it's time to do our final QB review in this episode. We are breaking down the film on Oregon Ducks quarterback Dante Moore. Take it away, Joe.
Yeah, so I'll play it first. Some of the views of the like specifically like Northwestern always has like really bad quality film. So I apologize a little bit for the quality of it, but blame Northwestern and not me. I think Moore is like the smoothest quarterback in the draft. I don't think his ceiling's as high as Simpson's. I don't think his floor, I don't think his ceiling's as high as Simpson's. I don't think his floor is as low as Mendoza. He's kind of like in the middle. He is my 3 though. The mid to short accuracy bothers me sometimes. I don't see as many like wow anticipation throws and tight window throws from a guy like Moore. So I think he's pretty clearly my 3 at this point. But overall, I like him too. And again, a very smooth player. But looks like he reads the top to the first right there. I could be wrong. He could just be reading the safety. I had to see it from the other angle. But then to the interior or to the backside here, we have a crease concept, which is like a dagger without a check down. Call it, if you want to call it dagger, fine. But it's seam, which is most likely just a clear out. We have Tampa 2. The seam route from the slot right here is going to carry the pull runner right here. The Tampa 2, it's called the pull runner, and then you have the dig behind it. And he's reading it, and he probably knows that hey, the pull runner is going to take the seam, and I'm going to hit the dig behind it. But there's pressure to his right side right here. So I like the smoothness of his pocket, and I'll talk about it a little bit more instead of just skipping through it. But the smoothness of the read here, keeping the eyes up, the manipulation of the pocket, and then delivering the ball, reading the pull runner right there is very, very nice. So again, checks the safeties. I actually don't think he reads the bottom right there. So he's just reading the crease concept where I was showing you. Again, read the vertical first, clear more of a clear out. Okay, feel some pressure. Steps up in the pocket. I love the ball security here, right? Stepping up, pulling the ball away from the DN so the DN doesn't swat the ball out of his hand. So I love the security there. Keeps the eyes down the field. And also something little that he does here too is as he's stepping up, he expands the left foot a little bit. And why he does that is because he doesn't want to take it vertical and run into the legs of him. So it's very just like a good feel for the pocket of stepping up, expanding on this left, off this left instep to then kind of propel himself to his right to avoid the foot traffic right here. So ball security, eyes down the field, really good manipulation of the pocket, keeping the eyes down the field, finding the dagger on the crease concept, delivering it to number 4. Did he just drop that? I actually don't even know. It doesn't matter if he dropped it. Again, process versus results. I think maybe he didn't. But good. Yeah, good play by obviously good play by Moore. I love the smoothness and the pocket comfortability there. He's a little bit more volatile with the pocket, and he can escape it or get out of it too early at times and not be confident in it. But overall, obviously that was a good one. So
is he the best athlete of the three we're breaking down?
It kind of depends on how you say athlete. Like, is he the quickest in terms of like foot speed and stuff? Yes, but like I also attribute like arm strength and stuff like that into being athletic. So I would say Simpson's has more upside because I think his arm is stronger than a guy like Moore. So I think Moore may be the better runner with the football, and I would say he's more quick than fast. Like, he's not overly fat. Like, if you actually give him a 40, I don't think he's gonna be the fastest guy in the world. He's very quick twitched, so he's probably a better athlete in terms of his legs, but. Factoring in the arm strength, I think Simpson's pretty close to his athleticism on the ground, but he also has the better arm, more velocity. So I actually say Simpson's the best like athlete out of all these guys.
Comments, questions, super chats, keep it coming. Jordan Powell says he loves the upside of Dante Moore. Bang Mateo says, let me save everyone some time. Moore equals Jordan Love 2.0. I would take Jordan Love. I mean, he's going to be our quarterback in 2038, so might as well get a head start on it.
He's a top 12-ish quarterback. I specifically hate player comparisons. Honestly, I think he's a better athlete than a Love. I haven't like studied Love, but just based on watching Love, I think he's like faster and quicker than a Love. In terms of like arm strength and stuff. Again, I'm not watching Packers film every week, so it would be disingenuous for me to comment on that. But I think everybody's different, right? Like, in terms of traits and like anticipation and reads and accuracy, like there's so many traits that go into a quarterback that I do not like quarterback comparisons really at all. But this is a great one from him. So the play action, he's going to check the top here. Again, you have a DB over the top, so he's going to go top to then the crosser. And when he reads the crosser, obviously this deep safety doesn't he doesn't match it well, so the crosser has leverage on him. But what he sees then is the hook to curl defender gaining depth underneath the route. And what he does here, instead of leading, and I think I played it first, right? So you guys saw it. What he does here, instead of leading him where the defender is gaining depth, he puts it back shoulder here, which is just excellent processing of, okay, you have the curl to flat, you have the hook to curl. He's getting depth underneath the route. I'm not going to put it in harm's way. I'm going to put that back shoulder, let my receiver attack it. And again, just make it a less risky throw. So again, play action, read the vertical. And then the picture here is gaining depth to the crosser, put the ball back shoulder, right? Don't lead them to where that ball can get picked off, back shoulder, let the receiver make a play on the ball. So excellent processing and ball placement by Moore there.
Big fella says, great stuff, Jake and Joe. Very informative. Hey, give some love to Joe Blewett. The man bought a computer the second last week's show ended because he was annoyed with the tech issues. And he's given us an extensive breakdown on the consensus top 3 QBs right now. So job well done by Mr. Blewett so far, folks.
I got bullied. It's okay. I was forced. No, it really annoyed me, Jake. I think you could tell, like, after I texted you like multiple times, sent you a picture of the box arriving. Like I was pissed. I don't like to be like, hey, good information, but the film review sucked because of something that's semi out of my control. So I appreciate it, everybody. But next one, we got a scramble drill, throw on the run, kind of like that Simpson play, just the playmaking ability of Moore. And again, Mendoza has like functional legs, but he's not as athletic as guys like Moore and like Simpson. And this is another play. I believe this is third down. I honestly forget off the top of my head, but another one where you're seeing some of the athleticism that he has and throwing across the body, which isn't something you recommend, but if a guy is wide open, he's wide open. If the play is made, great. Obviously if it's picked off or a guy deflects it, then awful. But if you're confident in yourself in doing it, then awesome. But it's going to read, I believe, the top of the screen first, right? You have the two vertical, you have the vertical, and then a seam route or a bender, and a bender is just basically it's a seam route, like straight vertical. But if the middle of the field is open, you're going to turn it into a post. There's some pressure in his face, right? Nothing's open initially, gaining depth, DB over the top, pressure in his face. Then he rolls away from the pressure. And it's a situation where, you don't want to always throw it across your body. But if you see a receiver this open and he leads him to the inside here, which is good, don't lead him outside. Don't put it on him because you have a defender here. So he puts it inside, throwing across his body, rolling out of bounds with the defender. on his tail. So some of the athleticism there you could see from Moore, right? Like that's not a throw that Mendoza is making, in my opinion, because he's not the best off platform, and I don't think he has the speed to necessarily get away from a guy and even get the ball off like that.
I love that. Super chat from Dante before we get to the next play here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm of the mindset of if you're not a 3-year starter in college, I don't think you'll succeed here. This team needs people who have some experience, and 1 full season isn't good enough. I get that, but Simpson's unique from the standpoint that he sat and learned. It wasn't like he was bouncing around or he only played 1 year and he's young. He's an older prospect who at practice is going up against Alabama NFL players. So it's kind of more of a unique case with him than maybe other guys with the amount of starts he's going to end up having if he declares.
Yeah, can I just answer that? Like, beggars can't be choosers. Like if we're waiting for a guy, 3 starts, all this stuff, perfect stats, are we ever going to get a guy?
Right.
Like there's always going to be like Mendoza has all those starts, but it's like I don't love the ceiling or the upside, so we can't take him. But Simpson doesn't have enough starts, we can't take him. Like, are we going to have our hands in our pockets for multiple years waiting for the perfect answer at quarterback? Kind of, So if not now, then when? If it's not Mendoza, you're not going to draft Simpson or Moore, and then next year, $100 million in cap space, hopeful improvement for the team. What if you're picking 14 and there's no quarterbacks available, or the top teams need quarterbacks? Are we sitting here until 2031 waiting for a quarterback if you put too many parameters on it?
Chicken Jenkins. Joe's your best guest, Jake. I love him. I've been watching him for years. Love the analysis.
Appreciate that, Chicken Jenkins. Thank you.
Hell yeah. All right, here we go. Let's get to the rest of our plays here from Dante Moore, and then we'll do Q&A with Joe on these QBs.
Again, yeah, I think this should be a thing where Beast maybe does it. But I appreciate the I appreciate you letting me do it instead of Beast. So I appreciate the opportunity. So we have 1 more good from him and 3 more bad, and then we can get into whatever else. This is an area where I think he's the best at, is just the deep ball accuracy and specifically like back shoulder balls. Mendoza's not great. I don't love his back shoulder balls. He puts it too far inside, but Moore's location on back shoulder balls is always pretty excellent. So this is another reason to read the inside route to the outside. And it's a ball. It's actually incomplete, which is, again, process versus results. I don't care that it was incomplete. The location of this ball is excellent. Let me see if I get to the next frame. That isn't, and it squirts through his hands, so it's the receiver's fault. But like, that is a perfect ball in terms of location. Outside shoulder, high, away from the DB, and it's because he's reading leverage, right? Like he's gonna get to the inside, or he's gonna read the inside. I missed the pause of the big ass cursor. So he reads the inside route first, right? DB over the top, DB inside. There's no way you're throwing this. Gets to the backside, and he decides to throw the ball about now. Could lead it, but with the DB so far inside, he's confident as a receiver making a back shoulder throw. And again, this is just a location thing. It's not processing. It's nothing like that. But the location of that ball is excellent. Receiver can't make a play for him, but a play you cannot play him more for. That's a 10 out of 10 ball in my opinion with the location of that. So unfortunate his receiver doesn't make a play, but excellent deep ball accuracy, specifically back shoulder ball accuracy for a guy like Moore.
That's a great throw. That really is.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah. Squirts through his hands. But like, that's a thing where if you weren't watching that game, like let's break it down to basics. You're not watching that game. You see on your tracker, incomplete play. Okay. In your mind, bad play by Moore. But realistically, if you get the context, great play by Moore. Same thing for Simpson. Receiver stops running the post. Oh, bad play, inaccurate. But you don't have the context of the receiver slowed it down by 30% and stopped running his route for what reason? So context matters. That's I would not. Simpson's dipped, but he's not dipped like a 2nd round prospect, in my opinion. There's no way. So now we go to the bad from Moore, and this is one where, again, I just don't think he's as good of a processor as Moore or as Mendoza and Simpson. There's sometimes he can skip open guys as well. This is one where it's 4th and 2, and his first 2 reads, he actually reads outside to inside here first, and his first 2 reads are open, and he's here. Let me play it first. But he takes a sack here. With his first 2 reads open, and that's obviously less than ideal, right? On 4th down, taking a sack. I forget the exact game situation because I've recorded like hundreds of these plays, but a situation where you can't take a sack, right? So the first read to the bottom on the speed out is let me just take it a frame deeper, or a couple frames deeper. So right off the jump, inside leverage, outside stem. Ken, we've talked about it 1,000 times. You have an out, or specifically a speed out versus a inside leverage DB. It's a ball that you should be anticipating to throw. He gets open here. deliver that ball, right? There's no reason to come off of that. Fourth and 2, boom, completion. Now it's first down. Gets to the second read, which is going to be the drag across the middle. Again, not necessarily wide open, but a ball that you could put on this receiver. He's not past the sticks, but you put it on him, he turns forward for a yard. It's a first down. Doesn't throw the ball there. Ends up getting to his third read here, which is this receiver. And it's even a ball, like if he needed to try to fit that ball in there, if he had anticipation, he probably could. Sees this defender, like the hook defender, like expanding on it or working towards it, so he doesn't throw it, but should have even got there, right? Like first read, open, speed out. Second read on the drag, open, right? Like it's not always gonna be perfect. Like this is a ball you throw. This is open for 2 yards, right? Like we're not crazy here. So cannot take a sack here. So I don't think his processing and stuff is always as good as guys like Moore or Mendoza and Simpson, even though they're not perfect at times. But that's one where it's like, dude, you can't take a sack right there.
Maybe just lack of experience too, something like that. Like he just sees it enough. Also better.
Yeah, and this is one where this is more like deep ball accuracy. I think he's generally really good here. This is just accuracy in general. I do think he struggles more. Like he's a guy who with easy throws, like flats to the running back or like quick ins, things like that, he'll bounce more passes than you want to. This one's a little bit more deep, but it's just a point of like he doesn't always lead receivers well. And this is one where you have another like deep mesh Yankee concept, and you're typically going to read the post first to the over, and they are in a situation where they are sending the house, seems like, unless they're all just bite up on play action like they're the Jets. But you got 2 versus 2 here. There's nothing deep, so he's going to read the post here, and as long as he's inside leverage and high on him, he's going to throw that ball. And if he leads him well, you're talking about a walk-in touchdown. He puts that ball way too short, and then instead of a touchdown, you're talking about them being 30 yards short. Again, you lead this receiver well here, Jake. This is a touchdown, right? Like he's not, so he puts it way too far inside, makes him gear down, and you miss a touchdown opportunity there. So I think his accuracy wavers more than Simpson and Mendoza, even though while acknowledging Simpson's accuracy the last few weeks has not been great. But overall, I still think it's better than a guy like Moore, specifically intermediate and short, deep. Moore is the best.
Quack, quack. Sco Ducks. Now, I think he declares. What say you, Joe? Because, again, if he's projected as a top 5, even top 10 guy, that's a lot of money to turn down to go back to school where you could potentially get hurt, and then who knows?
Yeah, exactly. We talked about this last week. It's like you're guaranteed, whatever, $6 million NIL. And then if you're a 6th-round pick because you get hurt or you suck, you're making like $1 million a year. So about $12 million overall there, potentially, like with the floor. Ceiling, obviously, you can make a ton of money, but you always want to operate like the worst case scenario, especially like financially. You have to have like a backup plan, whatever else. Like right now, like you said last week, he's guaranteed nearly like $50 million if he comes out. $50 million versus the risk of only making $12 million over the next 4 years. What's the smart decision there? I know for my family, I'm coming out, I'm making generational money, and setting up my family, my kids' family, or my kids and my grandkids' family for the next 40 years with that money. So I'm not going back if I'm a 1st-round pick. I think that's really dumb.
All right, here we go. Last couple plays from Dante Moore. The last play from Dante Moore. Then some questions for Joe. Super chat them if you got them. We only have a couple people in the raffle via the super chat and none via the gifted membership. If you want a Jets jersey, now's the time. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I cut this one wrong, so sorry. The first 4 seconds doesn't matter because I recut it. But I believe we have another like hawk concept to the top where it's the vertical. It's the vertical to the out right here, and he comes off of the vertical, right? You have an out route versus a very a DB who's very high over the top here. So this should be a gimme throw. Just put it on him, and the receiver. It's kind of hard to see in the next frame that he only gets one hand on it, but it's a throw where you just need general accuracy, and he. One, it looks like he shortchanges the base a little bit. He doesn't fully like step into it. And all these guys, and I didn't even get into like the mechanics of the throwing and stuff because we're getting to way too much there in terms of like stepping into the bucket and the front foot being closed off and not allowing the hip to drive through, etc. I'll get into that in the longer reviews. But this is a throw where he needs to just put this on the receiver, puts it too far outside and misses easy yards. So again, with a guy like Moore, the short to intermediate accuracy, the short to intermediate accuracy does bother me a little bit with him, where it's definitely not as consistent as you want it to be. Again, just put it on him there, too far outside, incompletion for because of accuracy issues at times.
Hell yeah. Dante Moore. How about it? What a review. Joe Blewett, give him a round of applause in the chat, folks. We went through like 20-something plays total for all these guys. Great job by Joe Blewett. And immediately, here's the first question I see. It's a super chat. Joe, would you rather Mendoza or Moore? Jets can get either one. Who are you taking?
Yeah, I'm Mendoza over Moore. I just see like more NFL level processing and anticipation from a guy like Mendoza. Like Moore has the higher floor, but it's hard to assume like, hey, he's going to get anticipation and tight window throws and stuff. Like that's the hardest thing to do. So I'm Mendoza over Moore. I think Mendoza versus Simpson's a closer competition for me than it is for really anybody else. I think they're relatively close for me.
So gun to your head, and this is from Chicken Jenkins. If you could have any of the three, you're still taking Mendoza. So it sounds like it's Mendoza 1, Simpson 2 for you, and Moore 3.
Yeah, I'm like I might even be Simpson 1A and Mendoza 1B. I want to reserve the right to watch the rest of the playoffs, because if Simpson keeps playing like he is, and it's not great, it's not bad, it's just somewhere okay, and Mendoza keeps playing the way he is, I think Mendoza is clearly my 1, and Simpson drops to my 2. But right now they're competing for 1 where I think Moore is going to, no matter pretty much what, finish as my 3.
Eli Bet says, enough of no one entering the raffle. I'm in for 5.
Hello? You play to win the game.
Hell yeah, Eli, thank you. Following 5 people are now channel members: Eric Schmidt, Hank G, Iconicalware, Roger, Anthony, and Leonardo Santos, all receiving a gifted membership. Comments, questions, super chats. What questions about the QBs do people have for the great Joe Blewett from JetX? Let's see here. I'm reading some of the comments as well. Tank for Ty is relentless. Brother Simpson is 1. Say it with your chest, Joe.
Yeah. Again, if he was more consistent in the pocket and didn't escape the pocket with pressure, which concerns me at the NFL level, and he hit his first read more often, it would be a slam dunk for me. He's 1. It's just the pressure stuff reminds me a little bit of Zach Wilson, which again, he's not Zach Wilson. Don't go crazy there. But it's too volatile with his pocket work and the skipping the first reads. When you say slam dunk number 1 at this point.
Chicken Jenkins says, if I made generational money, I'd give half of it to Beast so we could build the global studio headquarters up. That's very nice.
Yeah, and he could buy the computer that I just bought, and then I'm out of here, and I'm just a viewer and whatever else, and we'll talk to each other on Twitter sometimes. That's it.
You clown sucking douchebag.
Hey, Beast, what do you think of that? Someone wants to buy you a brand new global studio headquarters if they win the lottery. What do you think?
Oh. I don't think Beast knows he's on.
Was that just a
Hold on 1 minute.
Hey,
I like
we're gonna need to review the tape on that one. We're gonna need Joe to break that one down. The pick of all picks. You've seen Zach Wilson throw picks. Now we got the Beast Breaker pick.
Too much sodium in his diet right there.
Sodium? How about too much stress? Is more like I was already told by doctors that blood pressure's through the roof. Wow, wonder why, huh? Yeah. Oh, let's see. We got a shitty team. I live in a stressful town where there's too much shit going on, and then you try dealing with all the hassle and the hustle and the bustle and the aggravation. Well, that's life, son. That's hell on wheels. And don't worry, because tomorrow I gotta go to the post office first thing in the morning. Everybody is getting their Christmas present one way or the other.
Hey, Beast, they say you know how to pick them. What are your thoughts?
I know good talent when I see it. Look, I'm not here to play favoritism. I'm not here to play bullshit. It's almost Christmas time. There should be snow on the ground, which I've already said.
Hey, King Lowski says you're the biggest idiot on the channel.
Well, he's an asshole. If you want to pick a fight with me, go ahead. I'm not gonna clown sucking douchebag.
Okay, thank you, Beast. Open phone lines for anyone else who wants in on the conversation. That was a moment right there, folks. That was a moment. There was.
I don't think the sodium from the nose is helping his blood pressure. I know sodium can raise your blood pressure, so he's got to chill with the dig in there.
Loud Rimshot says, "What about Mensa from Duke? His stats are great. He might go back to school. He's very much on the fence right now."
Yeah, that's a guy who, again, it seems like based on Twitter stuff, he's kind of elevating to like potentially being the number 4, late first, early second Jackson Dart type prospect with like the late rise. So it's a situation where if that's where he falls and that's the consensus, I think I'm going to have to start watching him. So again, I don't know. I haven't watched anything more than like a couple of Twitter plays of him, but I'll do a full blown review if he continues to kind of climb up.
Brandon Batts sent in a $2 super chat, but he forgot to put the question with it, so he wrote it in. Here you go, Brandon. He goes, question for Joe. How confident are you with the coaching staff to coach up one of these QBs?
Yeah, that's the problem, right? I don't know. Again, I feel like on this channel I've gotten maybe not like I'm not an Engstrand apologist. I think he's okay. Like I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's excellent. I think he's like a B- coordinator, which is fine with what he's working with. So I'm not sure. I haven't seen him develop a rookie quarterback. I am very, very negative on Charles London, who's never developed anybody as a running backs coach. So that's a huge problem. Aaron Glenn, like we've talked about week after week, what has he done to really show us he's a good head coach? Running back as your quarterbacks coach, not so great. So in terms of the staff, I would say not very, being realistic. So that's almost maybe why you lean more like the guy like Mendoza, who's a little bit more of a finished product than a guy like Simpson and Moore, because maybe they can't screw up a guy like Mendoza. But not confident because I have no idea how they picked that quarterback coach. I have no idea.
JRC, who's grooming whoever? London, really? Again, yeah. Charles London cannot be the quarterback coach if we're going to draft a. Like, what does he do? Honestly, he was a former running back. He's got experience coaching running backs. How is he qualified to coach the quarterback position? Someone needs to explain that to me. It's not like he's been around great quarterbacks and, he played the position, right? Like Darren Muji's more qualified to coach quarterbacks. He played quarterback in college. Let him be the QB coach and the GM next year.
Yeah, he was with like Ritter and stuff like that. Like there was no quarterbacks who were even good under him, So not like saying like he can take like a reclamation project and make them good. Like it's not fair. But there's nothing on his resume where I'm confident him developing a rookie quarterback. So I think it's a change you undoubtedly need to make. And obviously we're not in the meeting rooms and stuff, so we don't know what he's actually about. But the resume is far from stellar.
Not great. All right, let's get to some calls, shall we? Joining us right now on the Gus Buster Umbrella hotline here is not Beastbreaker, but a man who Beastbreaker absolutely despises.
They call me Alan and everybody hates me because I'm a super douchebag.
Hey Joe, what's going on? First of all, I love your breakdown, but honestly, you missed 2 throws, two films that I'm shocked were not in there.
Which ones?
First of all, Dante Moore made the best throw of the year against Iowa, and it wasn't in there. I'm shocked. That was the best throw he made all year in the final minute of that game.
Iowa. I'm trying to think exactly when that was. I can find it.
Throw at 16-15 when he hit the guy out in the corner, right in between the cornerback. It actually hit him in the flat.
Okay. Yeah, then, I'm sure in the full review I'll have it. Being like, I have over like 100 plays of each of these guys. Am I going through and combing through every single play to go to review? I'm not, but.
And the one negative throw on Mendoza was with 3 minutes to go in the Iowa game, where he was pressured up the middle at 13-13, and he threw the ball completely behind his receiver, and it was picked by Lutmer. I don't know if you remember that throw.
Yeah, again, I watched
the throw that
thousands
should have lost the game.
Yeah, thousands of plays. Like specifically, do I remember exact plays? Sometimes not. I think 90 plays on Mendoza right now.
3:01 to go in the game. I'm just going to tell you the time.
In the full review, if it's a very good throw or a very bad throw, it's undoubtedly going to be a very bad
throw.
It's going to be. It's in the review. Then it's probably already clipped. I just have to look through 100 plays right now to get pulled up specifically.
Horrible throw by Mendoza. A throw that they actually should have lost the game if Iowa actually had their starting quarterback and hit a screen pass.
Like I said, I don't think his accuracy is always perfect. Generally, he's very accurate. But like the throws I showed from Purdue, he underthrew that fade by 15 yards. So it's not like he's always perfect. Generally, he's very good, but he's not absent of a bad throw.
So let me give you a scenario here. Okay, Jets have the 3rd pick in the draft. Okay, and let's say Moore comes out, because I keep reading that Raiola actually might transfer to Oregon. I read that yesterday.
Moore's never declaring. That's you all year. Now you're going to have to accept your reality, Alan. But continue.
I don't need to talk to Jake. I'm talking to you, Joe, because you're the smart one here. So let's say.
Oh, yeah?
Moore.
You sure about that one? You
sure? Let's say Mendoza and Moore on the board.
Really sure, Alan? Huh?
Wait, you're gonna dump me because I made a comment?
Go ahead. Make your point.
Okay.
They call me Alan and everybody hates me.
No, I'll let you make your point. Go ahead.
Okay.
No,
Jets
They call me Alan and everybody hates me.
all right, fine. Go ahead.
It's coming again.
No.
It's coming
Go
again.
ahead.
Okay. Jets have the third pick in the draft, okay? And both Moore and Mendoza are coming out. Do you move up?
It obviously depends who was 1 and 2.
Let's say the Raiders are 1 and the Browns are 2. And
Are they even willing to
quarterback.
trade with you at that point?
Okay. So are you willing to trade more? You see, my opinion is I would not trade any draft capital to move up for any of these quarterbacks because this team is about to be 3-14 and they have so many holes. Why waste any picks to move up?
This quarterback's the
Especially
biggest
when you
need for them. They need a
Especially when you
quarterback.
have 4 or 5 guys next year in 2027 with 3 number ones.
There we go again. Next year's class is always
Yeah.
better. That was this year
The
too.
difference is the Jets didn't know they were going to have 3 number ones left next year, Jake. That's the difference.
Okay, but so Mike, so just like this class, I'm sure you know, Alan, it's like you had Klubnik, you had Nussmeier, you had
I understand that.
Sellers. So what happens if the same thing happens next year and there's
You
only a
have
guy or 2
3
coming
number
out?
ones next year. That's the
Okay,
difference.
but what happens if it's less, and obviously maybe not the Raiders and Browns. What happens if it's like a Raiders and a Browns like team at 1 or 2? There's only 2 quarterbacks coming out, and then we're sitting there like, what the hell?
Manning's coming out next year. He is.
What if he tears
He's
his
not
Achilles?
going back to school after 1
What if he tears his Achilles though?
He won't come. Mayav is coming out next year. Okay. He'll be a first round pick. Sayan's going to come out next year. He'll be a first round pick. CJ Carr is going to come out. That's 4 picks, 4 quarterbacks. And you have 3 number 1 picks where you could maneuver up and down the board. Let's say the Jets finish 5-12 with the 8th pick in the draft and the Colts can't find a quarterback and they end up with the 12th pick in the draft. You don't think you could move from 8-12 to get one of those guys?
There's no lock they can. And how do you know that Glenn and Muji survive if they go 5-12 next year? That's not what you're considering either.
I truly believe that the 2 trades that they made at the deadline were for 2027. I do.
So the only problem with that is it's just there's so many variables, right? Again, like what if the top 3 teams all need quarterbacks? The Jets dump $100 million in free agency and they're picking 10. None of the teams want the picks the Jets have because you need a quarterback.
You got 3 ones.
I get it, but if I'm the number 1 pick and I'm, let's say, the Raiders who don't draft a quarterback and there's a stud coming out, I'm not going to trade that pick to the Jets when they both need quarterbacks.
In the idea of building your roster when you're going to be 3-14.
Did the Commanders do that when they took Drake May? I mean, when they took Jay Daniels?
You have holes everywhere.
So did the Patriots when they took Drake May. So did the Pats. So did the Commanders. So did the Texans. You know what helps some of these great holes? Hitting on a quarterback.
Straight up.
The holes the Jets have are on defense. Their holes on offense, they have 2 bookend tackles. They have a Pro Bowl guard. They have a number 1 receiver. They have Mitchell and Mechie. They have Mason Taylor. They're not starting from nothing on offense. They have Brees coming back. They pay him.
Use a center on offense.
Oh my God, a center. Oh, we can't get the quarterback because we don't have a center.
A guard on offense. But again,
so that's a reason to not take your quarterback. They took Sam Darnold and he had nothing around him. They have so much more for whoever the quarterback is next year than any other rookie that would be stepping into it since Sanchez.
Joe, if this team was not 3-14, I would understand what Jake is saying. With the amount of holes they have on defense,
their biggest hole is quarterback.
Okay,
that's why they're 3-14 in all likelihood.
That's not the only reason why they're 3-14.
The biggest reason that
it's
the defense.
Not the only reason. Their defense is horrendous,
which can be fixed with $100 million in cap space. Look at New England.
Now
do New England, Alan. The team you claim to not root for, but you do.
Average talent.
New England just did it. Should they not have taken Drake May?
Hold on, he was their pick. Again,
okay, and the Jets can use the Colts pick and get their quarterback. They should do it.
If Mendoza was there with our pick, I would take him. May was there with that pick. That's the big difference.
So 1 extra pick of that 5 first-round picks. They use the Colts pick, and you're not going to. Here we go. All right, so it's so silly. You need a quarterback.
What is the ceiling of Mendoza, in your opinion, Joe? And you've watched a lot of him.
Yeah. I feel like he's gonna be like an 8 to 12 guy in terms of however you quantify that.
Okay, give me a quarterback in the league you compare him to.
I hate comparisons, but like the general comparisons are Goff and Cousins, who you can win with, but they need to be more ideal circumstances.
Okay, I think he's Cousins, so I can see him between 12 and 17. Okay, that's where Cousins is right now. He's 12 and 17.
No. Cousins in his prime is not like he could be higher than that. He could be lower than that. Right now, Kirk Cousins is not 12 to 17 quarterback in the NFL.
Right now, he's in his prime. He was never a top 8 quarterback.
You just said right now, Kirk Cousins is not right now the 12 to 17th best quarterback in the league. He's in the 20 somewhere.
Okay, but he's a 12 to 17 quarterback in his prime.
Well, guess what? If he's 12, you could win with that.
You've watched his film, Joe. Do you worry about Mendoza's lack of athleticism against exotic blitzes going from up the middle? And you've watched a lot of film. When they attack him on the outside, he struggles. That's the big difference.
Yeah, he's not definitely he's not a playmaker like a Simpson and Moore is. So he has to operate like in the constrictions of like an NFL offense. He's not going to be like the biggest playmaker. So that's where his ceiling is limited. But typically if you process well, you anticipate well, that's gonna be like 95% of the offense. But I understand your point. I do. It's just, the only thing is all the variables in 2027. It's like how far down do you finish? Are the teams there willing to trade up? Because I'm not sure what your opinions of the club Knicks, of the sellers, of all those guys were last year at this point.
He was awful this year, but I never said that they were going to trade up for him.
And admittedly, I'm not the biggest college football guy. I'm not. I've admitted that plenty of times, but I obviously watch them, extensively when I have to review them. But all I heard last year was the same thing about this class with all those guys, and now none of those guys are even sniffing the first round. So it worries me that we're then going to just delay the process. And like Jake said, which I agree with, what happens if they finish 4-13 next year? It's a perfect time for them then to. No, I know, but I'm saying in terms of the staff now, they're going to think like, hey, if we don't win some games next year, we may get fired, because what a better time to fire a coach than with $100 million in cap space and 3 first-round draft picks in 2027. So they may force the issue a little bit.
Alan, the Giants had offered 3-1s to the Commanders and the Patriots to move up 3 spots to get Drake May. They got told no. You could have all the picks in the world. If the teams in front of the Jets next year also need quarterbacks, there's no guarantee you can get the Arch Manning or whoever the top guy is a year from now.
I think if the Jets, if they finish 5-12 with the 8th pick in the draft and maybe the Colts with the 12th pick, I think they have better opportunity to maneuver for the 3rd or the 4th best quarterback.
You think year. You don't know, and if they think that Fernando Mendoza can be a franchise quarterback and they can get him, they're going to trade up and take him, because they will have belief in him if they make that move. And you might not like Mendoza, but you asked for Joe Blewett's opinion. He just told you he thinks he could be a top 8 guy in the league. If the Jets feel that way, they're going to go and get him. It's not that complicated.
Okay. We could agree to disagree, but Joe, watch those 2 plays.
They call me Alan and everybody hates me because I'm a super douchebag.
Here's what you have to understand about Alan, Joe. His end game is for the Jets to always suck. So he wants to delay getting a quarterback as long as possible, because he knows the longer the Jets go without a franchise quarterback, the more guaranteed it is that they're going to continue to suck. He is not a Jet fan. He gets off on the Jets being bad. He claims to be a Jet fan, and he is not actually a Jet fan. So once people understand that you're talking to someone who's pretending to be a Jet fan, but his only goal is for the Jets to remain awful, now it all makes sense.
I can tell. I'm not a detective, but I can tell he gets under your skin just a little bit.
Oh my God. Just a little bit. Nobody can move the goalpost more with hypothetical scenarios better than Alan. Again, he just wants to just wait for the perfect prospect that doesn't exist. I have calls for him. We'll play the receipts. October 5th this year, this is what he was saying about Lenore Seller. So now we're supposed to just wait for this perfect prospect a year from now, because we assume that the Jets with their 3-1s are just guaranteed to get him. This is October 5th this year, what he was saying. Think about how much I think about how all our opinions a year from now are going to change about all these quarterbacks next year.
Jets have the number 1 pick in the draft, and they do not take Lenore Sellers. They are on absolute drugs. I don't want to trade back. You draft the number 1 quarterback in the draft. I'm sorry, you just do. You don't trade back a bunch of times. I know this team does not have a lot of talent or a lot of depth. You do not trade that pick. Absolutely, you do not. You take the player, but you have to take the quarterback there. You just have to. If you have an opportunity to get the number 1 quarterback in the draft, you take him. I don't think they will trade back. I actually think that Sellers is the best.
Well, I'll tell you what, we could do this. We could do this in April, but like you're already like criticizing moves that haven't even happened. So I don't feel like really debating.
I would be very disappointed if this team trades back if they have the number 1 pick.
If they got a fortune and they're picking number 1, I don't think it's a lock. You take a quarterback.
I would not.
You could still take a quarterback and move back.
No, I would take the number 1 quarterback.
Great. It's just like Lenore Sellers on October 5th. We had to take him. Now he's not even coming out because he was awful. We can't risk it. If you could get one of these guys and they believe in them, take them. That's how they're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, key point being if they believe in them, like you don't force it if they don't believe in them. But again, I've said it 1,000 times, the variables you cannot depend on next year. It's not like, oh, well, we like this guy, but next year this may happen because again, you can have 3 first-round draft picks, but if the top 3 teams only need quarterbacks and you finish 10, you're not getting the quarterback. So yeah, way too many variables to say, oh yeah, next year again. If you're waiting for the perfect situation, the perfect prospect, you're gonna be sitting there with your thumb up your ass for the next 3, 4, 5 years. You know.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that the line "thumb up your ass" because Alan in his spare time he once wrote this in my chat, which just I don't know what the heck was going on here. So I leave it at that. Project Prospect with Dom C. What's up, Dom? Joe B. Would you do a film breakdown of Jake Asman / Allen bare knuckle fight if we can get it lined up?
Oh yeah, no doubt, dude. I think that's more probably Tyson's avenue from Let's Talk Jets. He's the fighter, but yeah, I would love to. I would love to.
Oh man, Double Down says really awesome breakdown, Joe. Thanks for putting the time into it.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's see. I want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats here. JRC says we're so bad they should get a quarterback both years. Honestly, there's a scenario where that happens, right? They took someone this year. It's awful. It's a Josh Rosen, ironically, Steve Wilkes situation. They fire Glenn and everyone, and a new staff is coming in with 3 wins in 2027. They're going to get their guy then.
Yeah, it happens. Like, again, I'm sure everybody was talking about Josh Rosen, like they're talking about Mendoza with the processing and all that stuff, but you never know. Like, nobody's ever a slam dunk. There's so many variables with quarterbacks. It's just impossible to tell. So if they draft a guy in the first round this year and he busts, then yeah, you got 3 first-round draft picks to draft one next year. So it's definitely possible. I'm hoping to God it does not happen. I'm assuming in that situation, though, they'd have a new coaching staff, right? Like, they're not going to let them make a second quarterback pick. But let's just hope for let's not even get into that realm. Let's just hope this guy is the answer. I can't do this much longer.
Please, for the love of God. All right, I have one last clip for you. This was just sent to me by Gator here. We're going to do one last little film review, Mr. Joe Blewett, and then we'll let you get on your...
I know what it is. I know it. I have a feeling.
What exactly is happening here?
Oh. I don't think Beast knows he's on. Oh. I don't think Beast knows he's on. Sodium.
It's all the sodium.
Too much sodium in those boogers for a guy with high blood pressure. I'd recommend staying away from that, and hot sauce and things like that if his blood pressure is so bad. So Beast, take care of yourself, please.
Let me say this: Beast is a man's man right there. That's a handsome son of a gun.
We all have our opinions.
Joe Blewett, you're the man. Where can people find you if they don't already know?
Yeah, Joe RB31, Jets X Factor, Blewett Splits on YouTube. Have plenty more breakdowns coming and all that stuff. I appreciate the support. Like you said, it's so frustrating to do all the work and then the computer sucks. So I'm so happy that we have the new computer and stuff now. So plenty more coming in the next few weeks of quarterbacks and whatever else we're going to get into the offseason or whatever the plans are for the offseason. We'll see. But I appreciate the chat and I appreciate you, Jake.
Hey, good news is you don't have to do any more film breakdowns on Steve Wilkes defense.
Yeah, it's still probably going to suck, but 3 more games. I can truck through 3 more games, but I am so excited for the season to be over. 3 more weeks and we're out of here.
Ladies and gentlemen, there he goes, the great Joe Blewett.
Jets, Jets.
All right, I'm going to stay on for more of your calls. Reminder, we're presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Tonight, the New York Knicks will look to win a championship. That means nothing. The NBA Cup final tonight. Knicks are a favorite. I'll be watching. Game doesn't count for the standings, but the winning team, each player gets even more money. They don't have enough. $500K to each player on the winning team. So Knicks Spurs tonight. I'll be watching. You can bet on it on FanDuel. So make sure you do that if you're going to wager on the game. Reminder, new set of raffle prizes. Nick Mangold autographed football is our top prize this week. Also, a signed football by each member of the legendary New York Sack Exchange and a signed jersey by Vinny Testaverde. End of the show today. We give away a Jets Legends jersey. Pick the player that you want the jersey, and these never go out of style, and we will send it to you if you win. All right, let me get caught up on a few super chats. Then we go right back to your calls. Day Boss does it's made me laugh. Does Allen ever not complain? No, Day Boss, absolutely not. Jets Hub, Brick Johnson for QB1. I take him over Fields. I don't want to watch Fields play again. That's for sure. All right, here we go. To your calls. Carlos the Barber's next. Hello, Los.
What's going on, Jake? How you doing, my brother?
Carlos, what's going on?
Hey, I'm doing good. Awesome breakdown by the guy Jeff there, man. Always bringing some
Joe
good
Blewett.
breakdowns. I'm sorry, not Jeff. I'm thinking about Jeff Parsley. Never mind. I'm sorry.
Jeff Parles.
Joe.
You getting everyone's name wrong.
Jesus, forgive me. Forgive me if you're still listening. You know, when he first brought I talked about this last time I called you. When he first talked about Mendoza, he kind of shied me away from Mendoza. But I'll be honest, after hearing Mendoza speak at his Heisman award speech, I'll be quite honest. Like it kind of turned me back to kind of wanting Mendoza. And the reason why is I see like a man of character, a man that's a family man, man of faith. And I'm like, you know what? We need somebody that doesn't have to be flashy, Jake. We just need somebody to come in, do the job as a quarterback, and get us some wins, get us in the playoffs. It doesn't need to be flashy. He doesn't need to talk a lot. Matter of fact, as I was watching him, I was almost getting Peyton Manning, Eli Manning type of vibes, quiet individuals that just come in and assassinate you. So I'm hoping that's the case with Mendoza and with him. Another thing I wanted to ask you was, how do you feel about, do you respect Aaron Glenn for making a move now and firing the DC instead of waiting till the end of the season?
Yeah, look, he could have waited. I think he had to make this move because I think there was legit concern of like the locker room coming apart. Like it felt like they quit on Sunday, and the film kind of backs that up when we went through it earlier with Sabo. So I think he had no choice. I'm not giving him credit for firing Wilkes. So he hired him, right? Like if he didn't do it now, he was going to do it in 3 more games. Like I know some people were like, oh, he's not doubling down on a mistake. If Aaron Glenn was actually going to bring back Steve Wilkes, then he should have been fired with Steve Wilkes because that would show me that this coach clearly has no feel. So you don't get credit for recognizing you made a brutal mistake. I think the bar is so low if we're going to try and give credit to the head coach for that. I'm not going there.
Yeah, man, I really feel like, the organization dropped the ball. I'll be honest with you. I hope it's not the case, right? We're rooting for the Jets to win, and we're rooting for Aaron Glenn and company. But I really feel like they dropped the ball rehiring somebody that had no NFL head coaching experience. And then a defensive-minded coach. I really felt like we should have went offensive-minded coach. I don't know who was available at the time, but
Mike McCarthy.
I know that there were some people. Mike McCarthy was one of them. And I really feel like we just dropped the ball. And I just hope that next year we're not sitting in the same scenario, man, where we're firing a coach and looking all over again to rehire and go through this process that we've been going through the past couple of years. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on that. Just hope that we don't have to go through that as fans next year.
Carlos, the hair, the barbershop, it all looks tremendous. Great job out of you.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one.
Jets, Jets.
All right, open phone lines. PBM, where are you at? I was going to you, and he just dropped out. Hey, let me shout out a membership that came through from our man, Black Gypsy. He's in the raffle for one. I'm going to gift one right now. We only have 6 memberships. I'd like to get to at least 10 before we do this raffle. So I'm going to gift one. We'll get to 7 on the show. So here we go. 1 membership being gifted by yours truly. Hit it. Let's see who got it. If Mr. Tube tells me, I'll read it out. But right now, it's not telling me who got it. But Gary, or TJ Bagary is the one who got it. Okay, TJ, congrats. You have a raffle ticket at the end of the show. More calls right now. Let's check in with a man who they call Santa Beast.
You know what time it is? A beast breaker, 666. I'm gonna take my fist and shove it up your ass, and then he gotta go.
Allen gets an F. He is a bore. He ain't nothing but two things: brain dead and shot. He's like a bad carburetor. You know what you do bad carburetors? You throw them in the trash and let the garbage men take it. If it's plastic, you know where it goes. Goes back to China. Unfortunately, we're getting Mendoza. I like that kid. He has an ability to win. Let's offer him a nice little contract he can't refuse.
How do we get him, though, Beast? How do we get him?
Offer him a nice contract he can't refuse. Give him a nice little big hit bonus. Nice little start. Maybe $45 million a year. $45 million. That's perfect for him. The kid he's got talent. He has the ability to run, to proceed, and to succeed. He's got the tools. But now we have to also focus on the 8 players we're going to get. It's in the market, folks. We're going to get 8 new players. The Solid Boys are history. We're going to go to the future, and we're going to start right now. The next 3 games, just don't worry about it. Shut up, lace up your boots, get your balls intact, suck it up. It's time you either man up or you shut up.
Now, Beast, many are saying that your pick earlier was a man's man pick. What are your thoughts?
My man's man pick is going to be, we know what we're going to do. Starting next year. I'm not talking about this.
I don't think Beast knows he's on.
Today is enough. I got high blood pressure. I have a hot temper. Yeah, I do. Well, you know what that all comes from? That's stress, the #1 killer in the United States. So I'm going to say it one more goddamn time. Well, you blowhards, half of you already know how tough I am. And to the other half of the idiots, the ones that don't like me, you can kiss my ass.
Oh. I don't think Beast knows he's on.
I'm going to rat's ass what people think of me. Just because I send out cards, break my back, work my balls off, break a sweat, hurt myself enough. That's tough. You sons of bitches don't have no balls because you ain't got what it takes to be the best. You want to be the best? Earn your fucking respect. And if you can't.
Oh. I don't think Beast knows he's on.
Well said by Beast. That's a man's man right there. Well said. Philly Noodles is a man's man. He's next. Hey, Philly.
Bro, what's going on, Jake? Yo, I was there for that initial picking. It was in depth, bro. And he ate it right live on camera when Addison was doing his thing. And
he says more picks than the Jets this year.
Listen, if Mendoza has any half of the grit and high blood pressure he has, I think we might be in a good state. Maybe the passion for picking picks, not picking boogers. So we got to get Beast aligned with picking picks, not picking boogers.
He's a Mendoza guy, so Beast and I are aligned with we like Fernando.
I see that. Yeah, Allen. Listen, I'm halfway with Allen, halfway not with certain takes he takes and he has. I don't know, bro. I think there's a too much of a price. But if you're sitting at 5, I going through the rest of the team's schedule, I think we're going to land in like 3 or 4, which means we're only spending 2 first-rounders. You can give them another second. Like, what is that going to do to us? You know what I mean?
People act like the trade-up is going to deplete the Jets of every asset. They still would have 3 ones over the next 2 years after this hypothetical trade where they trade the Indy pick this year or one of the 27s next year. And if you have a good GM, which I think Muji is showing some competency so far, you trade out of one of the spots next year and recoup what you just gave up to get Mendoza or more in the first place.
Correct. And the funnier part is it depends who we're trading with, right? If you're looking at, like, if you trade with the Giants, they don't necessarily, they felt like they've been loading up on defense. We know they need a receiver. So where we're sitting, they'll take the receiver. So you can say, okay, you guys, do they feel anything that's that important that they need to go grab in the same draft? I haven't heard anything about tackles. I know always there's tackles, but there's no clear cut. There's like one clear cut tackle. They can't double dip at that point. So you might as well say, hey, we'll give you next year Indy's pick because that's going to be pretty much shit with no Daniel Jones for almost half a year or more. I'm willing to say I want to pick twice still. If you could somehow do that, if you can give them where we're sitting and next year's one and in the 2 this year, then you got 2 1s still. So you're bringing in Mendoza and you're bringing in a linebacker because God knows we need it. If there's one sitting there at 18 or 17, wherever we pick. So Phillip Rivers just got to look old still and just shit the bed, make that pick go up. But yeah, I mean, I think there's that compensation for next year's picks is pretty heavy. Indy and ours. I think they weigh more than people think, especially ours.
We could beat anyone, but maybe Cleveland, depending on where they end up and what happens with the Jags. But again, I think the Jets are not going to be stopped if they love one of these QBs. We just need the Raiders to win a game so we could get our guy if it's Tennessee or the Giants in front of them.
Yeah, and I feel like there's a lot of there's got to be some thought to thinking. There's got to be some type of idea in their mind. Okay, well, what I worry about is the cap space. There's a lot of cap space. So my thing is, where are you allocating that money? I mean, it's not going to be no way Glenn is bringing in George Pickens, right? We know he's not bringing in a guy like that with that attitude. We just know it. He kicked Rodgers to the curb. So he's not going to get guys that are going to be turning your franchise the wrong way. So to me, that's not an expensive route. I feel like we still might hear the rumors kick up with the Burrow situation. I think that might become legit. They're going to make a call. Ain't going to go nowhere, maybe.
I'm going to ask the Philly Noodles, $10 super chat. Philly with Rodgers, RDS. Do you still think he's washed? / now you could talk about the draft for 2 years.
Yeah, I don't think he would have taken us to the playoffs if that's what I mean, is Saleh still in the building at that point? Maybe with Saleh. It ain't happening with the regime that we took in. They would have had to have kept fucking Hackett. I think everyone's so confused about what he did to the franchise. Like, I think people don't realize everything that occurred was so bad because we took a risk and it didn't pay off right from the jump.
Well, he got hurt. Which complicated everything.
Yeah, exactly. When he got hurt, it ruined everything. It's not his fault he got hurt, but I'm not going to keep setting back my future for one playoff appearance. What happens if Mendoza takes us to multiple? Are you going to say?
For sure. I'm with you, really. Like, I think it would have been. I don't think it would have worked with Rodgers here. No. And my fear is it would have. The blame would have been all on Rodgers and not on the head coach, who has been horrific this year. And at least we now are aware, like, how bad Glenn has been. And there's a chance that if he sucks in year 2, we don't have to go through a year 3. Whereas if it was all blamed on Rodgers, then Glenn would get a year 3 no matter what. And they probably wouldn't have been able to make the sauce on the Quinnen deal and have all these picks that provide us some hope to get a quarterback. So I do think Rodgers doing what he's doing just shows you, again, coaching matters so much.
Yes.
Mike Tomlin's amazing. And any Steeler fan who wants him fired, I mean, please, we'll take. I would do anything for Mike Tomlin to coach the Jets. Anything.
It's the culture that they've set there for 20 years. You know, it is what it is. You know, first off, he came in with problems. Like Hayward was talking blah 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 blah. I don't want him in here. He's gelling. They're gelling at the right time.
Now Hayward loves him.
Yeah, they're gelling at the right time. But I still think they're going to lose in the playoffs if they take the playoffs at the first round. You know, if they get in the division, there's still chances they don't even make the playoffs. So everybody calm down.
All right. Chef Kevin says, Philly, do you still want the Jets to pick up Daniel Pennies? Great show, Jake. Let's go Jets. Chef
Daniel
Kevin,
Pennies.
up and in.
Look, you're getting paid right now. Go ahead. He paid you quite a bit of pennies right there. Let's just get that started. How many pennies are we talking?
People trolling you is putting dinner on the table tonight, Philly Noodles. All right.
Do it. Troll it up, man. Hey, you know what? If we had Daniel Jones, what would our record be?
Well, right now, it's probably not much better because he can't move.
I'm saying he would have had us at what, 9 and whatever, 9 and 4.
I don't know. The defense would still be the Wilkes Glenn combo. I don't know if it would have made that.
That's what I'm trying to listen. Everything happens for a reason. Yes, I did want Daniel Jones, and actually, I don't know. Would he have had the problem he had with his? First off, he would have never been played with that fibia problem. That's why that happened. He put more stress on the other leg. So that's bad mismanagement of the player. Because their fucking backup is trash. Tyrod Taylor being the backup would have been, an actual decent backup. Yes, I will double down on that, Kevin. 100%.
I see you yelling. You got something you want to say to Philly Noodles?
What's up, bro?
¿Qué pasa?
¿Cómo está, bro? What's going on?
I saw you screaming off air. Yeah, I thought you wanted in on the conversation.
I was listening to the one new band that's doing a Christmas song that'll blow a person's mind. And I'll tell you, it's really, really good. And it's actually, I'll send you the link, Jake. You're gonna get blown away by this real fast. You're gonna need a seatbelt And
I'm the global beast. I'm gonna save the universe for beep beep.
Thank you, Beast. I thought he had
No.
for you.
No, I
Sorry.
do have to. We have to call out Beast and say $45 million a year for Mendoza. We must have money we didn't even know we had, bro. Crazy money that we didn't even know we had. That's his whole contract, Beast. 45 probably for 4 years plus 1 year.
Ladies and gentlemen,
You know,
Philly Noodle's favorite is on the line.
Ladies and gentlemen, sports fans of all ages, welcome to the event of the year, the moment you've all been waiting for. This is the Asmaniac Rumble.
okay, I'll let you do your takes first. Go ahead. We're gonna be here a little bit.
Philly!
We're gonna be here a bit, Neil. Go ahead. What's up, bud? Go ahead. What do you got?
I want here's what I want. When Rodgers hoists the Lombardi this year, when he hoists the Lombardi, Mr. Stop, I want you to wear a Rodgers jersey every time you go on any show. And
If he wins the Super Bowl.
Before you speak, hold it. Before you speak, I want you to say, "Hi, I love Aaron Rodgers." Now I'll make my point. That's what you got to do, Philly. You got to do it for me, buddy.
All right, wait, hold on. Before you make your point,
I know if you do it, if you say you'll do it, I know I'm going to go bet. I don't know what the number is on Steelers to win the Super Bowl, but I'm going to go heavy on that one, baby.
Could have did a preseason. All right, hold on. Before you do that, so all right, that's what you want to do. If that happens,
wait, Philly. I hate when people say, "Oh, what would they be with Aaron Rodgers?" First of all, with Aaron, if Woody Johnson didn't want him out, okay, we would have got an experienced coach instead of every one of the experienced good coaches hanging up on Tannenbaum when he said there's no Aaron Rodgers. So if you want the job, thank you, but no thank you. Boink. That's what the good coaches said when we got rid of Aaron Rodgers. So any good coach would have taken this team. Hang on. They all walked away because there was no Aaron Rodgers. With Aaron Rodgers and another guy that plays with Aaron Rodgers, let's not forget how well Davante Adams is doing. Let's not forget him. I know he's no Garrett Wilson, but Davante Adams is doing pretty good there in the Rams, isn't he?
Plus 6,000, Neil. $100 to win 6,000 on the Steelers to win the Super Bowl right now.
How much is 1,000 going to get me? How much was my return on
12,000? No,
I'm only going to get 60 grand on 1,000.
60 grand.
60. Oh yeah, 60
grand, and we're going to take.
You're going to put a grand? Listen, Neil, go ahead.
We're going to put a big pool together for the Steelers to win the Super Bowl, and then when they win that Super Bowl, we're going to take all the ass maniacs are going to go with that thing, have a huge ass party. And the only ones that are not going to get invited are Philly Noodles,
and Allen.
Who are the other ones, Jake? The big
Allen.
Rensman syndrome guys.
Oh, maybe
Allen
he
was
didn't
not
say
so
it,
much. Allen was not so much.
Nick Shine.
Nick Shine.
JJ.
Yeah, no, JJ. I don't
No,
think
he wasn't.
Rodgers.
Peter Castro wasn't a Rodgers guy. Your boy.
No, he wasn't.
But he was but Jake, he made the same.
Better protect that Goomba.
Statement. Peter made the famous statement. What's going to happen when we get rid of Rodgers? We're going to suck forever. Remember?
He did.
Okay. Hold on. So, all right. So, if that happens, though, fine. I'll wear a Rodgers jersey every time I come in here. You have to, if he does not make the Super Bowl, because you already know he's going to make the playoffs, right? You're dead set on that. You know he's doing it, right?
Want to make the playoffs? Let's be real. The only way he doesn't make the playoffs is if they lose the last 3 games. That's it. If they
what about the Chargers?
Last game of the year, they win on the tiebreaker. So they're going.
What about the Chargers? Where are they sitting? They're sitting obviously probably 4.
Place.
No. But they're sitting like 4 out of the divisions. No.
Are they in first place, Jake, by a game over the Ravens?
The Steelers are a game in front of the Ravens right now.
Yeah, but out of 7, where are they placed right now?
Well, it doesn't matter though because they win the division. They'd at least be the.
They're going to win the division.
Well, I know that. I'm saying they lose the division. Where do they sit? That's the question.
I don't know.
Hold on, no, Neil. Hold on.
They probably need to win I got to check the standings right now. I would guess they would need to win the division to make the playoffs. There's no wild card for them.
All right.
Billy,
So,
let's hit the reverse button. Let's spin all the way back until before anything.
why you? See, I was going to tell you to wear a Daniel Jones jersey.
When we started looking for a head coach, let's spin the wheel back. We would have had a choice with Gruden. We would have had why am I losing?
Well, Vrabel played us. Let's just be honest.
Who's the Dallas coach, Jake? That we were
Mike McCarthy.
McCarthy. Okay, let's take Mike McCarthy. Let's take a good defensive coordinator. Let's take Devontae Adams. Let's take our offensive line that's better than the Steelers. Let's take our running game with Brees and bring it all back. And I'm telling you right now, we would at least, and let's have our kicker now and our special teams that last year sucked. Our
No.
defense.
Yeah, you don't get the special teams. You don't get the special teams. That's right. You don't.
All right. Yeah.
Incorrect.
Yeah, but we would have had.
I don't know if we would have had because Solid did not have.
You have a better kicker, I think it's fair to say, but we can't assume Nick Folk is the kicker if Mike McCarthy's the head coach.
It's all water under the bridge. But I want to say, I'm rooting hard for Rodgers to go a long way. I don't like any of the teams that are on the AFC anyway.
I'm rooting for them. If they play the Bills or they play the Patriots, hell yeah, I'm rooting for Rodgers.
You bet your ass. Who else do you want to beat him? Who do you want?
If he won the Super Bowl, I'd be happy for him. I have no ill will towards the guy at all.
I would be ecstatic for him, Bo. I'd be ecstatic. And I'm telling you, man, the Steelers are looking pretty good. Their defense is coming together. And Tomlin, the only reason I don't want him to win is because, dude, they want Tomlin out. They were booing Tomlin. Did you see that, Jake?
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
The Pittsburgh Steelers fans are booing him. He's not.
Who they play? The Ravens again. Let's say they lose to the Ravens. Who's our last opponents, Jake?
Free right now.
They play the Browns. Lions, Ravens, Browns. Their last three.
All right, so they lose 2, maybe.
The only reason I want him not to win is because I think there's a chance that Tomlin's out there, and I'm going to tell you something. Even Tomlin can make Justin Fields.
Well, here's the problem. He's not firing Glenn. Woody is not going to fire Glenn for Tomlin.
If Tomlin was available.
Available,
so, and I'm telling you right now, that's a discussion, especially when we lose out here.
But he wouldn't.
We lose out at Philly. We lose out.
Breaking sports news on the Jake Asman Show.
I'm told Alan has a major bet for you, Neil.
Neil, here is the bet. Okay, any dollar you want. Okay, you ready? You can write this down.
I don't have to bet you. I get 6. I'm getting 6 plus. What is it, Jake? 6,000.
Okay, I will bet you $1,000.
I'm putting that bet in right now. I'm telling you.
Here it is.
I am putting that bet in.
When the Steelers are the number 4 seed, okay, they'll win the division. They're the number 4 seed. Okay, the Bills will go into that building and beat the living shit out of them in the first round.
I don't know about that.
Alan, first of all, you with the Buffalo Bills. Stop already.
Neil, they will beat them so bad.
Rodgers,
Neil, and then you can cry about your 50-year-old quarterback losing again. That's the bet. Whatever
I'm talking
you
about
want.
his age. They were even saying yesterday.
Tomlin hasn't won a playoff game in a decade, and he will not win a game. Whatever you want, Neil.
Alan, did you see the game last night at all?
Again,
did you watch any of the game?
That can't play in
Wait, you're too busy doing your draft selections. Did you look at the game?
Buffalo will go in that building and beat the living shit out of them. Whatever
Alan,
you want,
Did you see any of the game yesterday?
I did.
You did?
Miami cannot play in the cold.
First of all, Miami's defense was playing great. They are hitting
Miami.
Like nobody's business.
Can't play in the cold.
I didn't care about that. I said when
whatever you want, whatever bet you want. Shut up. You're a moron.
What do you want me to bet? Asshole.
I don't care. Whatever you want.
I will throw you over the Atlantic and burn you alive.
Just jump off the bridge.
No, shut your fucking mouth. I am sick of you and your bullshit. You make me so sick to my stomach. I want to fucking rip your throat out and break you in half and unscrew your head and shit down your neck like a cheap bottle of Canadian whiskey.
Moron.
Lord, scumbag.
Call me Alan and everybody hates me cause I'm a super douchebag.
A bet of all bets. Neil, Betting on the Steelers to win the Super Bowl. 60 grand is on the line. A bet with Alan. By the way, Alan, there's a chance that it'd be the Chargers playing the Steelers too. It's not decided yet. Look at the records. Chargers are 10-4. Buffalo's 10-4. A lot could still be decided with who Pittsburgh would even play if we assume they win the division. They're the 4 seed. Might not even be Buffalo in round 1. Couple things here before we wrap up the show. We still got the raffle. I want to shout out the great King Lowski, who before that madness got underway was kind enough to bless us with a 5-spot of channel membership.
Who wanna fly with them Jets?
Ike got next. P. Shafini, Thomas Roseman, Vicini, Game Master, and apparently that's 5. Those are the 5 people who got the membership from our king. Okay, some super chats. Big fella, Neil, apologize to Papa Jet for your comments on his call. He did nothing to you and is a great caller. What did Neil say about Papa Jet? I missed this. Neil, what did you say about Papa Jet?
I didn't say a word. What is he talking about? I love Papa Jet. I didn't say shit about Papa Jet.
Big
What's
fella,
he talking about?
I don't know. Someone clarify what Neil maybe said or didn't say.
What?
I don't know.
You clown sucking douchebag.
Let's find out what Neil said. He didn't say that. B said that. Kyle Clifton in the raffle for 2 says Rodgers' numbers are among the worst of his career. He's not washed, but he's greatly diminished. 100%. I mean, look, he's not anywhere close to what he was, but his brain alone can still win you games, as we see. Right? They showed it on the broadcast last night. Aikman was all over it. Just getting them in the right play, still being accurate enough. And his arm still works. I mean, he threw a rifle that got by Ashton Davis, baby, to set up one of the Pittsburgh scores last night. Yedis says Neil with some peak boomer delusion. I don't think the Steelers are going to win the Super Bowl, but again, let's not move the goalpost. If they make the playoffs, so many of the Rodgers derangement assholes were saying, "Oh, he's done. He's going to go to Pittsburgh, and that streak of Tomlin having a winning season's over. They're going to fire him. They're not going to win anything." So now, if he makes the playoffs, it can't be, "Oh, he's not going to do anything. Who cares?" Nah, you don't get to move the goalpost. You thought he sucked. He had no chance to do anything. He's proven with good coaching that he's still capable of being a quarterback on a winning team. No one's saying he's going to win an MVP anymore because that's not at age 41 possible for him. But he's still competent. He's light years better than what we have seen at the quarterback spot this year. That is for sure. Big fella says, Neil said Papa Jet could cure insomnia. What? Really?
You clown sucking douchebag.
You said this, Neil?
There was somebody else. I'm trying to think who was on. Oh, Bob Lederer. Bob, you had Bob Lederer on this morning.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Jake.
Well, he called in. I didn't have him on. He called in.
Right, but you want to tell me that guy can't cure insomnia? Talking about the Jets of yesteryear. I was snoring. With Bob Lederer is a great guy. But he's talking about Matt Snell for like 45 minutes on your show.
He loves Matt Snell. He's passionate.
I know, but Jake, Jesus Christ. The only guys interested in him are my age. And even the guys my age fall asleep when Bob Lederer talks. He's like,
well, you could blame Dixon, who sent in a super chat that I read to Bob, and then Bob started talking about his book.
Oh,
which led to the Matt Snell discussion.
He goes on. I've seen him on Paul Green's. Paul has him on for like an hour.
I think he does a weekly with Paul.
Yeah. He's a great guy, but Madone, he is like a sleep aid. You had him on this morning. I was like ready to snore. Has nothing to do with Papa Jet. I don't know what the hell this guy's talking about. Nothing to do. Don't try to inflame the Asmaniacs against me now. Don't you guys start.
Oscar writes in, Neil talking about someone else having a boring call is so ironic.
Yeah, I know. I'm real boring, Oscar. Yeah, please. Let's go. Throw something at me here, guys. Throw me some chat comments. Let's hear it.
They're really not coming after you right now.
What's to come after? Listen, this Rodgers thing, Jake, I agree with you. You can't move the goalposts. And like I said, look, winning the Super Bowl is one thing. I'm telling you, they have a good shot to win this AFC. It's wide open, Jake. I mean, really, think about it. Their defense played
Barbarossa says you may have lung cancer. There you go.
Thanks, Barbarossa. I appreciate that. My grandfather died of lung cancer. You know.
Oh, no.
That's a nice thing to put on me there, buddy. By the way,
New Q says the guinea pig slayer always delivers.
Atta baby.
Beast is still sad. He says Neil's okay, but I'm still pissed off about that guinea pig story.
But see, you got to bring that up. Beast was my buddy. Now he was going against Allen with me, and you guys had to bring up the goddamn guinea pig thing. That's
Amanda says Neil helps my insomnia.
Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate that. Yeah. Okay. I don't know about that. All I could say is, Jake, you know it. You are praying. And look, what else do we have to root for, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not, I liked watching Rodgers. The guy was phenomenal for us. And I like to see an OG do something magnificent. I mean, that's what I'd like to see. At this point, it would be a great story, Jake. If he came back and won a Super Bowl, that would be the best thing to happen to us OGs of all time. I mean, let's face it.
I mean,
who's the oldest quarterback?
But
Who's the oldest? You know what? I don't hate the Steelers. I mean, I don't like them. And what they did to us in that championship game, if I see Ben Roethlisberger, I saw him last night, I want to throw up when I see him walk on him. Did you see him last night? He was at the game. But I want Tomlin, bro. I want Tomlin. He's going to get – I'm telling you, Jake, he's not going back to Pittsburgh. How could you be a coach? But listen, it's not about him firing him. How could a coach that's done so much for that team for 20 years get booed by their fan base? That's disgusting.
it's because it's been they're spoiled. They haven't won a playoff game since 2017. They're tired of it, but they don't see the bigger picture. What we go through, what we go through.
18 years without a losing season, Jake.
I know.
We have 10 years without a winning season.
Hey, big fella writes in, not trying to get anyone against you, but you wrote that when Papa Jet was on. If it wasn't against him, we're all good.
No, absolutely not. I like Papa Jet. I don't have anything. No, I was nothing to do with that. No,
your issue was Bob Lederer. We got to get the two of you on the air together.
What happened is maybe my comment came in. I was probably behind in the show listening to Bob Lederer. That's what happened, Jake. I was on. Sometimes I'm behind. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at who's on. If I try to pick up the show and I saw Bob Lederer, I made the comment and Papa Jet was on the, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Papa Jet was on the show. Yeah.
I believe you, Neil. I know. I
listen. Bob Lederer. Ooh. And who was he on? Who was he talking? Oh, he was talking. He was talking. What's his name? Loves him.
Sabo. Yeah, Sabo was asking a lot of questions.
Sabo's another history buff with the Jets. These guys were talking about cornerbacks from the 70s and 60s. I mean, come on, man. We really got to dig deep to be in this situation we're in.
Gator says, Neil once put me to sleep during his 13th point.
Okay. Hey, listen, I'm not giving 13 points anymore. I usually give only 6 or 7. I'm not giving 13.
That's for Boomtown to decide.
Yes, that is absolutely true. But listen, what points could we possibly make now? This is like the low of the low. I'm listening to Bart Scott and Crooked Finger there. What's his name? The guy. Who's the guy that's always on that talks about I love the guy. He's terrific.
Crooked Finger?
The finger that's over here, with the one that talks.
Oh, Brian Baldinger.
Brian Baldinger. His finger is so disturbing. He gets on it. He's like this.
I've seen it in person. It's great.
Oh, my God.
I've looked right at it.
Oh, it's scary. But he's talking about the new D coordinator situation and Harris and how the offensive line has made a lot less mistakes and they have some continuity. You know, Baldinger is really, really good. He gives a lot of good, good points about the Jets. And of course, Bart Scott was asked what he thinks, what the defensive coordinator should do and what he thinks. And he thinks that he should just let these guys play to their strength. I think one of the big things these guys complained about, Jake, on the defense is that Wilkes had them playing out of what they're comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? I think there was a lot of misplacement on the defense and guys being asked to do what they're not comfortable doing. And that caused a lot of the problems on the defense. I think this defense is going to be a little, I mean, it can't get worse. Let's face it. But I do think we're going to have a much better defensive showing with the new DC now that this, because clearly these guys were so pissed off at the D coordinator that they didn't even want to talk to the media and stuff. So obviously this happened behind closed doors, don't you think, Jake? I think these guys came in and said, listen, we want this guy out of here. I'm not playing for him anymore. And it forced his hand.
I agree, Neil.
These goddamn exploding cigars. I gotta go, Jake. I'll call back later. Shit.
I think Glenn didn't want to fire Wilkes. He wanted to get through the last three. It became untenable, right? The amount of points they allowed, players quitting. 30th in scoring, D. I mean, they allowed 82 points the last two games. I just think it became too much. All right, home stretch. Last chance to get in the raffle for a jersey today and enter the weekly raffle. Coach Brian Olick is next. Hello, Coach.
What's up, Jake? What's up, Asmaniacs?
What's up, Coach?
All right, here's my thought. So I manage a team, I manage people, projects, and I'm just thinking about how valuable failure is from a lesson standpoint. And I'm trying to have a positive spin. I'm very optimistic, and I always call in with positivity. So I'm just thinking about how many mistakes, lessons we have from this year, from coaching to play calling to I will admit now, I thought the roster was a better roster. I'm hopeful that some of these mistakes, some of these challenges, issues, painful points for us, the last 2 weeks have been awful, disgusting games. I hope they lead to some improvement. I hope that Glenn, the staff, how they reload the coaching, how they self-scout themselves and analyze their game plan and scouting other teams, all of it. I hope all these bumps and bruises that we all feel like, gosh, this was painful. There was, 7 weeks in a row where folks overwhelmingly thought Glenn is useless. And then a couple of weeks of this is not bad. I see improvement. And then we're back to a blowout. So, gosh, this roller coaster of the Jets this year, it needs to lead to improvement next year. And I don't think next year is I'm not going in overestimating next year. I already wrote my note to myself, future self. The team's not good until they prove it to me on the field, Jake.
Coach, they're coming after you in the chat. They're calling you Bob Lederer's son, another cure for insomnia, Bob Lederer Jr. I think you're a great caller.
Thanks,
Coach.
Dude. I'm okay with the chat. I like the chat. I regularly rip people in the chat. So, I find it as a form of comedic. Okay, go back to Gator. His comments mean something to me.
He says, Coach Oglick's voice could soothe me during root canal.
Oh, that's true. I am at the
You have a great voice. Very soothing.
Thank you, sir. I'm at the office. So this is like, the office voice of me working and listening to any discussion on this amazing team that makes me feel really good about myself. And I'm excited. I get on a plane in a few days and I get to see the Jets and go to the Superdome. So I am excited. You see me in the chat. I'm looking for a win.
You're still rooting for a win.
It's my team. I can't root for them not to win. And so I understand a competitive loss. It won't upset me, right? A competitive loss. I'm rooting for a win no matter what. I firmly believe that it does not matter what the draft slot is, that they can maneuver if they're skilled and get the player they want. And I also think that we are more than one draft and one free agency period away from rostering a competitive team. I just don't think that the reload with the free agent dollars, cap space, and these draft picks this coming year is going to push us into some 2-digit win column. I think we are likely in for a roller coaster, especially if we don't hit on the quarterback. And my gut is we're not going to. And with all these draft picks, all these extra picks.
Why is your gut that we won't hit on the quarterback? You're the positive guy.
Okay, yeah, I'll tell you why. Because I just don't see us at the number 1 or number 2 spot, and I see quarterback needy teams ahead of us that are more desperate than us.
What
and
if the Giants are 1 or the Titans are 1 or 2?
Yeah, I've thought about that. So the Giants at 1, we don't know if the new coaching staff is going to want to say dart to the bench or go get a third for him and go reload with Mendoza. I would if I'm coming in there as the coach.
You would trade Jackson Dart? You're probably taking the job because of Dart.
That's what I tell them when I got there, but I'm reloading that.
I think they would hire a coach that wants to work with Jackson Dart. So
you make a good point. There is still that possibility.
And also, they get way more than a third for Dart. They'd get probably if Jackson Dart was available in a trade at the bare minimum, they're getting a 1 and then some.
That would be okay. Giants are not my problem, but as a Jet fan, why am I not optimistic? I think that they got to take all these picks, and they have.
Right, but you're the optimistic guy, so your strategy is pessimistic. Your strategy has them winning 5 or 6 games, and the coach who you like getting fired a year from now.
I hope not. No,
how many? If they do your strategy right, they bring in a bridge and they use all the picks and they get quality players. How many wins do you think they're going to win in 2026?
3 or 4.
So then Aaron Glenn's gone.
I can't speculate on that. I can just
that's 7 wins over 2 years. He's not getting a third season.
Not my call to make. I didn't win the Powerball, so I can't make that call.
Like if you're the optimist guy, then there's a path for them to get Mendoza or Moore now, and then we could be next year's Patriots or the Commanders or the Texans when they took like teams that turned it around quickly with a rookie quarterback. Sean Payton in his second year in Denver made the playoffs with a rookie quarterback. Like that's the optimism I want from you, Coach. Come on.
I feel that. I just don't know if this regime is going to do that. I don't see them taking all those assets that they took from trading 2 quality players and saying we want to package too many of them up.
What's too many of them? What if it's?
I don't know. I don't have that number.
But here's the trade, right? If the Jets finish 3-14, the trade is the Colts pick. Let's say it's pick 15 where it ends up, and a second in 2027.
Great, done. I'm in.
That's what it would be. What do people think this trade up is going to cost the Jets? That's why we need them to lose out. So they're at 3 or 4, not trying to go from 9 if they win one more game to get to 1 or 2. Then it's a lot more expensive. But if you're trying to only move up from 3 and 4 to 1 or 2, it's not going to cost you that much. Might not even cost you a first round pick if Moore declares they like him and you're trying to only move up 1 or 2 spots at the most.
I'm with you. I think the Raiders are our problem. With that
they are,
scenario.
but that's why you need more than 1 first round. Like if you watch the film review I did with Blewett, he likes Dante Moore a lot, or Ty Simpson. We need them to come out.
Yeah, I would say this. So we get these 2-star players that go out the door. We receive the 4 draft picks. We need those 4 picks to turn into 3 starters and then a contributor, right? That's kind of how I look at it. And the more you finagle those picks, you package them, and I'm okay with that. I'm not saying I'm a no trade up. Don't use the assets. Don't overpay. And where you're doing the Sam Darnold thing. You got this quarterback, and we've got the bookend tackles, and I can go through the players that I like. You probably like them too. I just don't think we're set up right now for a rookie to come in and succeed.
Not yet. But we have $100 million in cap space, and that can help the roster. The offensive line doesn't need a ton. You don't need a ton in the receiving room. You need 1 more addition there. They're better set up for a rookie quarterback than they've been since 2009. So you got to get the quarterback.
I couldn't agree more. And how sad is that? That right now with this team, with what they're playing, we're more set up for a rookie quarterback, and our defense looks like trash.
That's why the record's horrible and Fields is horrific. But again, you have 2 tackles you like, you have a guard you like, you have a number 1 receiver, you have 2 complementary pieces in Mitchell and Mechie you like your tight end. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. They'll keep Brees. They have Braylon Allen come back with Isaiah Davis. You're not starting from nothing. Are they an elite offensive team with those players? Not necessarily, but again, a lot of them are young and they're only going to get better. Plus, you're improving quarterback. And I'm going to give Engstrand the natural improvement from year to year 1 to year 2. You got to get the quarterback.
Everything you just said is right on. And what it doesn't take into consideration, we can't control, is an injury or the depth. We will be an injury or 2 away from full meltdown.
I mean, that's most teams, right?
That's true. Well, we are closer to that. We are actually showing teams what it looks like currently.
That's why
in
I'm
that-
glad Garrett's
yeah.
not playing right now, because it exposed what we knew going in. Hey, if he rolls his ankle and misses a lot, we have nothing. And thank God Muji on the fly was able to get Mechie and Mitchell, because at least we got to see a little something from them where they could be a part of the plan for next year.
Yeah, hopefully those guys go off. I'd like to see them catch the ball. I'm starting to miss Alan Lazard's amazing catching ability. Watching Mechie play, I don't know anybody.
You clown sucking douchebag.
That's my message to Alan Lazard. Good call, Coach. I appreciate you. Let me get to the great Kyle Clifton as today's closer, and then we'll spin the wheel of champions and give someone a Jets Legends jersey.
I think you're going to be seeing a lot of me as the closer, Jake. This commute is killing me.
Oh, no. Kyle Clifton having to go back to the office these days.
Yeah. Listen, did you get my super chat? I've been in and out.
I think I read it earlier. Yeah, about Rodgers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read it earlier. I agree with you. And it just shows you how important coaching is, because Rodgers is still playing like competently enough where if you have a good coach around him like Tomlin is, you could still win with him.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. At some level, I want Rodgers to do well too, but we can't pretend that this is prime Rodgers. It's not.
No, not even close.
No. And it was a worthwhile risk for us. That's the one thing that you have to you have to reach for the stars sometimes, and that's what the Jets did. And they had a decent team the year he got hurt, and it didn't work out. And then they were always going to have problems with him coming back off that injury. You kind of saw this coming, like the woulda, coulda, shoulda with Rodgers after the season we had. But I think that this is probably ultimately the best thing for us, because we have to get the quarterback right? I don't know if it's going to be this year. I don't know if it's going to be next year. Hopefully we'll be in the top 5. So going up to get whoever we want to pick will be cheap, and hopefully there won't be a team that will not want to trade that pick. It's just this is a bad situation. I mean, we're in 15 years of hell here. I was at that Pittsburgh AFC Championship game. Their fans are very entitled. We were just happy to be there. Although we did expect that we had a shot, and I think that if we had 5 more minutes, it might have been a different result. It was super, super bitter cold. The fans were not nice or accommodating, or even, you can understand good-natured banter, but they're a little bit hostile there. So that makes me not want to root for the Steelers. But Rodgers has had a great career. I think that he's going to cap it off with a playoff appearance, but I'm with Alan on the fact that I think that they're one and done. I could easily see the Bills or the Chargers going in there, because I think the Chargers would probably be able to play defense right there with the Steelers and possibly come out with a victory. And what do you think about that?
Yeah, look, I don't know if I'd pick them against the Chargers or the Bills. I could see them winning a game, though, at home. It wouldn't be the craziest thing in the world. Rodgers at least gives them a better chance than their previous playoff games when they went in with Russell Wilson or Mason Rudolph or Kenny Pickett or whoever,
It kind of struck me last night because one of the announcers even said, well, these are among the worst numbers of Rodgers' career. And I'm like, and then I looked at him, I'm like, you ain't kidding.
And they're still not that bad. He's got 23 touchdowns. Yeah.
It's funny for a Jet fan to be critiquing that. We've had such hunger at that position, but when you think of Aaron Rodgers, you think of, the guy who's, doing the 4,500 yards in his sleep, whatever. It's, but I don't think at this point we need to be looking backward at Rodgers. We need to be looking forward at, the Dante Moores and the Simpsons and the Mendozas of the world.
Yep.
That's what I had, man.
Kyle, excellent call. And I like you in the closer role. I mean, you always provide a lot to the show, so this is a good spot for you.
I appreciate it, Jake. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kyle Clifton. It will be interesting to see who Pittsburgh matches up with, because I could see the path for them to win a game or lose. But either way, don't move the goalposts on Rodgers, because so many are like, oh, he's going to go there, they're going to suck. They're going to win 5 games. Tomlin's going to get fired. Well, they're probably going to win the division. We'll see. If they win one more game, at least Rodgers, the bare minimum, goes out with a winning season at 9-8. Gypsy Moonchild. Put me in the raffle, Jake. Trying to win Black Gypsy, a Christmas gift. Black Gypsy's lover, Gypsy Moonchild, in the raffle for 2.
Time to lose some games, bitches. You guys should be pros at this. They don't give out trophies for 4 or 5 wins.
Hey now. The Moonchild in the raffle for 2. I am finalizing the list of names right now. We're giving away a Jets Legends jersey to one lucky listener. Beastbreaker wrote in earlier, I take showers every day. Piss me off more and watch what will happen. Now that is a man's man right there.
You clown-sucking douchebag. We ready?
Oh, are we ready, Beast? Hell yeah.
It's time to spin the wheel of champions.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac Raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Oh, the prizes are epic. And so is our epic raffle music. Here we go. Good luck to everyone who entered. As always, you are entered in the weekly raffle. When you enter any daily raffle, we count all the entries throughout the week, and every Tuesday, typically Tuesday, it was Tuesday this morning, we give away 3 prizes. But today we're giving away a jersey, the daily prize. The names have been shuffled. Good luck to all. Only one can win. If you win, please email me and we'll get you your jersey ordered this week. Good luck to all. Your winner is Day Boss, whose entry was a super chat that ripped Allen. Hell yeah. Does Allen ever not complain? That was good enough to win. Yeah. Let's go, baby.
Hey, what's up?
What's up? That is what's up. Congrats to Day Boss. Shoot me an email, asmanjake@gmail.com, and we will get you your prize at the Jet Champ for Day Boss. All right, folks, I leave you with a video that I've been dying to play all show. If you missed it, my post-game show the other night, fireworks between Charles Gorman and the chat. A call so crazy that you didn't know what was going to happen next. I end the show with this video. Go Jets. We will talk to you tomorrow on the show at 10 a.m. A lot still to talk about. Believe me, it's going to be epic. Go Jets. Have a great night, and let's go Knicks. Let's win an NBA Cup championship, baby. Oh, yeah.
This team is not well coached. Oh, and I heard Rebecca said she wanted to marry a guy like me. Well, Rebecca, I would love for you to deflower me.
Whoa. Keep it in your pants, Gorman. This is a family show.
I was told to say it, so.
I don't care who told you to say it. Sick.
I'm an idiot.
Oh, someone told me to say it, so I have to say it. Oh, I'm Charles Gorman.
I didn't really watch the game because I was with a friend. I was at the Woodbridge Center Mall.
This is a brutal call. You didn't watch the game?
I checked the box score.
You didn't watch the game?
I was with a friend, Jake.
So you chose a comic book convention over your football team? What type of fan are you?
Apparently not a good one. I wanted to spend time with a friend, Jake. Is that something wrong?
Yes. Now, was this friend of yours a woman? Was she going to make sweet and passionate love to you?
His name was Preston, and he's been my best friend for a while.
So you hung out with a dude all day instead of watching your team? What are we doing?
Shame.
Beast, I could care less what you think. So
what a lousy loser he turned out to be. Gorman, you've lost every bit of my respect. You clown-sucking douchebag.
Sir Lucas says, does Preston dress up like a comic book chick? Good question.
He did not dress up like a chick. He's not a cross-dresser. Nor
calm down. Is Preston your friend or gay lover?
Not gay lover.
So you went to a comic book convention with Preston, who's your friend and not gay lover?
Yes.
Because you know the Jets play Sunday at 1 o'clock.
I know that. And I wanted to spend time with a friend.
Clown-sucking douchebag.
You want to fight, asshole?
I don't want to fight, period. I went to Sabaro's.
You chose Sabaro's? You couldn't have picked anything else at a mall?
Wanted some meatballs.
From Sabaro's?
Yes.
Really? You chose Sabaro's voluntary? Come on. And for the meatballs, you went to a comic book convention with your gay lover and ate Sabaro's?
He's not my gay lover. First of all, and even if he was my gay lover, why is that a freaking problem?
It's just, it would be surprising because you started your call trying to pursue Rebecca in the chat. But you didn't watch the Jets today. So what exactly is the purpose of calling in?
I checked the box score.
No, the box score could lie. There's no context. There's no feel for the box score. Every game has a heartbeat. According to New Q here, you hung out with a dude and ate balls over watching your football team. What is that?
It's a mat. I also got a poster for him.
Chris wants to know, does Preston lay on that mat?
No, he does not. Stop it.
You don't have to get so mad. You can just clarify for the chat.
And I got this too. Cost me about $40.
You spent $40 on that?
Yeah, $5 discount.
A $5 discount?
I wanted it. Rebecca, if you want to talk to me via email.
Email?
She said she would marry a guy like me. That's what I was told.
You're just going to sell your soul for the first woman that shows interest in you, Charles?
No. I'm saying if she wants to talk to me in general, period.
Now, Rebecca says that she would, but you would have to give up Preston.
Rebecca, we're not gay lovers. Stop it. I want to have serious talk with this woman.
Preston or Rebecca?
Rebecca, I would love for you to deflower me.
Thank God for the Gormans, the Beasts, Bobby, Gary's. This season's been so bad.
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go, Jets.